Saturday's bruises and cold roses, cold roses.
agent Cooper. Listen to the sounds. It is in Alaska.
It is.
It all cannot be said aloud now. Remember 430. Richard and Linda. Two hours worth on stone.
I understand.
You are far away. Listen to the sounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Clear World Radio. Hope you're having a good
Hello.
evening. My name's Nodle. Over here behind the glass. I can't think of where to point. Behind the glass, behind the cat, that's Des over there.
Hi.
Say hi, Des. There you go. There you go. So it's been a few weeks. Had some IRL stuff going on, as internet people call it. The first week was band stuff. The second week, we had somebody pass in the family, so been dealing with that. But getting back into the groove, we wanted to do something special, to do a second show, because we usually only do one a week. But we wanted to shift in a second one to kind of make up for last week or the week before. And we just finished Twin Peaks in the server, so I couldn't think of a better thing to make a special episode out of, personally.
Exactly. Yeah, this is our first full series as our Midnight Society viewing club, or every Monday night. Oh no, this is Wednesday. Sorry.
Oh yeah. We do movies on Mondays and we do series on Wednesdays. Usually, that's about how it goes. I think we think we watched the first 3 episodes of Hannibal last week. Is that right?
Yeah. Is
Beautiful
Hannibal
show.
our next big series?
Yes, I believe that is going to be next, mainly because I wanna bring more eyes to shows that I think have a visual beauty to them that a lot of people might not have seen. Like Twin Peaks, for instance, is a cultural phenomenon. You can't, even if you've never watched the show, just like you and Abe, even if you've never watched the show, you've heard of it. Somebody has probably mentioned it around you at some point in time. And that
Whether
says a
you know
lot.
it or not.
Yeah. Especially before, if anybody doesn't know, which I think that applies to Kyle. How's it going, Kyle? Since you didn't recognize that skit there. The story with Twin Peaks is David Lynch, one of my favorite directors, probably my favorite director, honestly. He's known for his very abstract ideas and visuals, and for some people, they would say stories that make zero sense. But he's one of those persons that puts stories together where if you give it time, if you invest in it, and you look into it, and you try to absorb all of it, eventually, all of it might not make complete sense, but you'll definitely get more of an understanding of what he was going for. Because you're never going to get answers out of David Lynch. It's not going to happen. It's just never going to happen. The man won't even answer questions about Blue Velvet, and that was 80s. But the thing with Twin Peaks here, real quick, before we bring on the panel, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to bring on the Midnight Society, our viewing party in the Discord. But you're more than welcome to join. There should be invites floating around here, along with links if you want to donate to the show. But all right, the story with Twin Peaks before we bring everybody in is.
Well, we already have Kels in.
Oh, we do.
By the way,
Should we
She's
just
on the
bring
screen,
everybody in first?
Sure.
Yeah, that works. Works for me.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I only have enough screens open to feature 2 people. But I'll try and go between. We have Kels, of course.
Hi, Kels.
We also have
Hi, guys.
Abe.
Hello, Abe.
Hi, Kels.
Hey.
And then we also have Sin over here.
Hello,
Hi.
Sin.
Hello.
One of our others that saw the entire thing, beginning to end, nothing skipped. Not naming any names at all. It's nobody on this panel. Nobody on this panel missed any of it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just fucking around. But seriously, thank you guys for coming on the show. I hope we can have fun. I hope maybe even bring some clarity to some parts, because I'm sure there's a shit ton of questions, and just I can't even remember how many what the fucks I had the
Twin
first
Peaks
time I
is
watched
like
the series.
walking around in a dense forest in the middle of fog. Like, oh, bump into a tree. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Let me walk into another tree. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
There has to be a reason for this. I keep bumping into trees. It's totally not the fog. It's the trees. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. It fits very well because falls off the bed, and maybe your significant other is asleep. I'm literally giving a step-by-step of things that happen to me every week, sometimes nightly. Your significant other's asleep, something rolls off the bed, you can't find it, you don't want to turn on a light because she's got to work in the morning, all that kind of stuff. So you're just sitting there, like, looking around, hoping your eyes will get used to it at some point, when it just doesn't really happen. And every now and then you might stumble onto that object, which in this case would be an answer, maybe, every now and then. So I've always enjoyed that with storytelling, man. It's just I don't like things that tell me every little piece of what's going on, like from the get-go, or even during the first season. Like I love long form stories, and we can thank Twin Peaks for that. I'm not sure if they were the first. I'm pretty sure they were. One of the first. I'll say one of the first because I don't want to be wrong. But they were one of the first series to do the whole serialized storytelling, where it went from week to week, without it being a soap opera, obviously.
Sure.
Which is funny because it obviously also makes fun of soap operas
Yes,
a
it
lot.
does.
So you can credit this show with inspiring many programs. The X Files wouldn't exist without it. Lost, The Leftovers. Let's see. God, there's so many of them. Fuck. Basically anything sci-fi or just even more abstract storylines that take up multiple seasons. That came from Twin Peaks. Like that was the idea here. Now, I don't think ABC knew exactly what they were getting into when they accepted it, even though the pilot was insanely highly rated. I want to look at the ratings here for that because I remember it was a ratings juggernaut back in the day for like the first season and like the first half of the second season for sure were very, very popular. Let's see.
Until they revealed the killer.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
everybody.
That's what I was
He called it.
like the first half of season 2, basically the issue that we had here was ABC didn't like the idea of prolonging the main mystery of the series, which was who killed Laura Palmer.
Mhm.
And the way Lynch described it, which was kind of what made him disillusioned with the series and working on television entirely, was he was quoted as saying, "They killed the goose that laid the golden egg." So it's you get rid of that, and I loved his original idea of never really solving who killed Laura until maybe the very end, like maybe the very end.
Yeah.
So you
I
gotta
could see them never solving it.
Yeah, it could have worked. I mean, you could have had enough context clues, because from what I understand, season 3, when it came back 25 years later, yes, 25 years later, for those of you that haven't seen it, never read it about this at all, when it came back 25 years later, I often wonder how that would have gone if the original story were to stay intact. Like if they never revealed who Bob was, none of that stuff. It honestly makes me curious about where they could have taken it, because I could see a lot of the same stuff happening that was in some of the stuff from season 2 and a good bit of the stuff from season 3 would still work. But would that still work with the big finale of the return? Like all the revelations that we get there when Cole and Albert are out, doing their Blue Rose Task Force thing. Like, how would that have worked? Like, because we know, spoilers, obviously, we're celebrating an entire TV series here.
There are going to be spoilers.
Of course. When it ends, it splits into 2 timelines, and we're left to deal with that. So, could that same story have worked with the original storyline? What do you think, Abe?
I think it could have. I think ABC just has a really bad track record of just like throwing away fucking gems. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there would be no ABC produced Heroes, right? The sci-fi TV show.
I thought that
The
was
same.
ABC. Was it ABC?
No, I think it was ABC.
Okay.
Tim Curry or whatever, who wrote that whole show. had the same shit happen to him as Frost did. So like I don't know, man. I think it's, storytellers get mixed up in,
Oh, it's
primetime
NBC.
television schedules. Was it NBC?
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
NBC,
damn it.
yeah.
I could have swore it was
Oh,
ABC.
Well,
it
they were all
still
the same.
works. The
But I mean,
argument,
same
the
difference,
arguments to
right?
be made for all network television
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
platforms. I mean, like Firefly with Fox. Fox is the worst.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
when it comes
Yes.
to
Fox
shit.
is the worst.
So like ABC might be second or third.
Yeah, I think
Well, no, we're talking about an NBC show, so NBC would probably be second on my list because they also got rid of Hannibal.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So
I think there's a very, very valid, like, it could have continued. Um, I don't know, but it wouldn't be the same without the disruptions and
yeah,
yeah, I have, it's like, it's hard to imagine what it would be like if it was just consecutive series culturally.
yeah. It's. I remember reading some notes for what was originally supposed to be season 3. There were some notes that Okay, another little history lesson here. Back before this was before Blu-rays were a thing. DVDs were coming into their own around, what would you say, 02, 03? That's when like they were really popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around then, obviously they started putting TV series on DVD for people to watch at home. That was a big game changer for a lot of people because with VHS, obviously there were home releases for things. Like you can basically get the entire run of the original Twin Peaks on VHS if you want it on eBay because they did put it out back in the day. Same with the X-Files. They put out VHS copies. But
yeah.
I mean, how many people do you know that were going out and buying TV series in VHS format?
I remember it being a big deal to own the Titanic movie box set on VHS.
Oh yeah, because it was
Like,
2
that
VHSs. Yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah.
That and
Heavy
Braveheart, right? That Braveheart and Waterworld.
Yep.
Weren't they all 2
Yes,
VHSs?
My god, my dad owned
Yeah.
both of those. Yeah.
I had Braveheart and Titanic.
Braveheart
Yeah, I
was
had
actually
Titanic.
shot around here where I live, which is
Oh
interesting.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah, it was shot in. I know
Not
it was
the
shot in the
Highlands?
state. I can't remember exactly where in the state, but it was shot somewhere in South Carolina.
What was that? Scottish independence, right?
Fuck, I can't even remember. Braveheart.
That
It must-
doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It kind of goes away from the show anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. I get lost too. Don't worry. It's not like we're professionals over here or anything like that.
So I gotta keep you guys on track.
Yes.
Hold
Where
on,
were
on
we, Des?
topic.
Whip us into shape.
Oh shit. So
Or whip him
Twin
into shape,
Peaks.
not me.
Twin Peaks.
Of course.
Um,
Okay. Shit, where
The
were we?
beginning.
Okay, the original story, would that still work? Okay, I remember seeing some notes for the original season 3 if it would have been renewed on ABC back in the day. And they were released with a not a Blu-ray, a DVD box set that came out. I think it was 03 or 04 or something like that. It was called the Gold Box set. Before that, the only way you could get the pilot on I'm so used to saying Blu-ray that I don't even think about DVDs anymore.
Yep.
But the only way you could get the pilot, which is, if you don't know, a pilot is the very first episode of a television show that they present to the network to see if they want to pick it up for a series. So the Twin Peaks pilot, sadly, was owned by a different company than ABC that owned the following 7 episodes of the first season. So for the longest time, the only way you could get the pilot itself on DVD was to import it from the UK. So finally, they got their ducks in a row, and they put out this DVD box set called the Definitive Gold Box, which was like the landmark physical media item for Twin Peaks fans when it came out.
Mhm.
I remember finding it because I watched it the first time by I guess I can say this legally because I own it now. I watched this the first time illegally by
What?
downloading it off of a Bay of Pirates. But
No way.
that was back when I didn't have as much respect for film as I do now. If you were to walk into my house, you would see the massive amounts of movies, like physical media. It's my girlfriend has a problem with it sometimes because there's so fucking many of them. But I just when it comes to stuff like that, number one, I love to support entertainers that help me in that department. And I don't mean helping me as in, giving me a leg up on anything. I mean
Yeah.
entertainers where if I come home, it's been a long day, I want to sit down and watch something entertaining, hence the word. So I like to give money to those people, help show that I appreciate what they do. But I there was no way to get everything back then. Like the Artisan, which was a home entertainment company back then, the Artisan DVD of season 1 was out of print. And the only thing you could buy on DVD was season 2. And there's no real point in buying season 2 if you can't watch season 1. So
Right?
I downloaded season 1, I watched it, loved it, went out, bought season 2 on DVD because I knew it was already out there. Enjoyed it, obviously not as much as season 1 towards the second half when they kind of veered away from the original storyline. They made a few missteps there. I will gladly admit to that because I've noticed them over years. But when it finally all came together there with the Gold Box set, which had the pilot, seasons 1 and 2, and a shit ton of extras, didn't have the movie in it because they couldn't get the rights to the movie yet either. So you had that, and you had to buy the film separately, which was fine. It's cool, whatever. But the Gold Box was beautiful, man. It had everything you could want from a TV series back then. Like Kyle MacLachlan was on
Special features?
Yeah, like special feature wise. Like it had Kyle MacLachlan on SNL because he hosted it.
Oh.
I think it was right after season 1 ended. He was on there. They did a Twin Peaks sketch, and that's on there, of course, and some
We
deleted
should watch
scenes.
that in the Discord.
What's that?
We should watch that in the Discord sometime. this
Yeah, I
episode.
was actually thinking about it. Like, what was sad to me when watching was, I had to rip the episodes directly from my Blu-ray copy because the Blu-ray would not play in this computer for some reason. Copyright bullshit. So I didn't really have the time to rip all the special features, but that has been remedied. I have all of them now. And there's some stuff on there that I think y'all would enjoy. There's
All right.
a documentary called Secrets from Another Place, which takes you all through season 2. Explains a lot of why Lynch left in that part. There's tons of deleted scenes, but anyways, getting back to the Gold Box. So sorry. That was when it finally hit. Was like, okay, this really is something special. And I remember showing it to all my friends over time. Like when I was in a band, when I was in a jam band called The Old Curiosity Shop. I couldn't believe nobody had ever used that name, first of all. Great novel. But,
There's
when
a
we were
shop
in
in
that-
Seattle with the same name.
Really?
Yes.
Great. Originally, it was Ye Old Curiosity Shop. But,
Yep.
I think
That's what it's
the
named.
shop's name is. Yeah.
Of course.
It's on
But
the pier.
we would watch that after practice, like we'd put it on and get tanked, like after we were done playing music. So it's kind of been always present in my life, if that makes sense. Like once I discovered it, it's always been present. because I meet new people. If I learn things about them to where I think like, okay, they might appreciate this, then I will present it to them. But there's tons of people that I meet that I know either A, wouldn't enjoy it, or B, wouldn't be able to handle it. And there's a lot of people like that out there too, which I think is one of the reasons why it failed on television the first time around.
Yeah, it does require a level of patience to get through some sections, but the tease for the payoff is what gives you the patience to continue watching it. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
And I'm a long game kind of watcher, like as long as the series has a good payoff at the end, I can forgive a lot of what's in the middle.
Oh, and the same, the contrary is true too. Like I can, like, a lot can be ruined by a bad ending, by
yeah,
an unsatisfying payoff.
that's
Like,
true.
well,
That's very true as well. Yeah, it can a bad one that's bad enough can undo all of the good that a series has done before that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
yep,
Anyone?
that's
Oh God.
Yep.
main example.
For the people that have never seen Twin Peaks, I'm gonna screen share here. We're going to take a look at some trailers from back then. I think it'd be fun. Move this to a new window. Oh wait, I don't think that's the right one that I have open. How do I? 1 second, everybody. Sorry. Change windows. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry. I think, yeah, that's the right one. All right, cool. Yes, that's the docket. 1 second. Okay. Now, this is actually it's very interesting because apparently back then they didn't do trailers too often, especially not for a TV series. They did promos that were like 35 seconds long, which I figured we'd go back to right after this. But for the people that are watching that have maybe never seen the series or something like that, and for us, this will be like a walk down memory lane,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get going. Here we go.
Oh, is there sound?
Sound good for everybody? Can you hear it?
I don't hear it.
You don't hear it at all?
No.
Hold on one moment. Sorry, everybody.
No.
There's none at all.
Wait, try it again. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I just fucking amplified the fuck out of it. My bad. Okay, 1 second. Sorry about this, everybody. Discord hates us like usual. Share screen. Twin Peaks. Oh, come on, baby. Work for me.
I can hear it now.
So,
Oh.
can.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
One of my favorite lines from the show.
Sorry.
Honestly, like it's one of the most like probably remembered lines, to say the least, is you mention Twin Peaks to somebody and probably 5 to 6 times out of 10 they're going to say she's dead wrapped in plastic back to you. That guy looks like a fucking turtle. I will never not have this opinion. I've never seen a man look more like a turtle, except for what's his name? In Dana.
Dana
Dana
Carvey.
Carvey.
Dana
Wait.
Carvey from
Turtle,
Master of
turtle,
Disguise.
turtle.
Yeah, that. That's the
Okay,
only time I've
that's a
ever seen a
horrible
man
movie,
look like
yeah.
a turtle more. That's all. This is the one time where a man has actually looked like a turtle to me, and that's a lot. It was a good bit. Okay. I've already been copyright claimed once tonight.
Roll it.
Oh, Audrey. Oh. Anybody got thoughts on Audrey?
I
She's
love her.
pretty. Yeah.
She really is. I mean, she's it's probably not my favorite look of hers with the hair like that, but okay, we'll save that for season 3.
Do you
talk
think she
later
was
on.
imitating Cooper there?
Oh, with that?
That's actually a good observation, Abe. I've never thought about that.
She's got the slick back.
Yeah. That was Coop's thing, was always
Very much.
because his hair is as long as mine in the show. Like, if you remember when Leland was dying on the ground and the sprinklers were going off, not
Mhm,
sprinklers, what are those things called, Abe? The fire.
Sprinklers.
Are they sprinklers? Okay.
Yeah, they're sprinklers.
I thought that was the wrong
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
I thought I was thinking about the things that are sitting outside somebody's house. Anyways, the sprinklers were off, and if you remember, Coop was on the ground comforting Leland, and his hair was all down because, obviously the water had taken all the gel out that he uses or whatever. And his hair was like down to here, which is like a little bit longer than mine, honestly.
Dang.
So you're right. He does do the full slick back thing at all times. So that's a good
She's
point about Audrey because she
too.
was obsessed
No.
with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, most people obviously wanted to see some sort of relationship between these two. Now, modern audiences might not appreciate that because of the whole age gap deal. But
Yeah.
back then
that's
people
weird.
took fiction for fiction. So you take into account that Coop is basically a fucking Boy Scout with a badge, like literally.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting to think about if it would have happened because apparently it was originally supposed to happen.
Oh.
Behind the scenes.
I think it would have made more sense.
Yeah. I would have appreciated that more than them going for Annie, honestly. Like, I love Heather Graham. I thought she did
Yeah.
great in the role, but she wasn't around long enough for it to, like, really hit. Like, if that would have been Audrey in the lodge at the end,
Yeah.
that would have been a lot
Yeah.
more hard-hitting for me, at least.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
whole story with that is behind the scenes, Kyle MacLachlan, Coop, was dating Laura Flynn Boyle, Donna, and Laura Flynn Boyle is notoriously hard to work with, which is why she didn't really have much work in between or after all this, and also why she wasn't invited back for the return.
Well,
But so she caused problems behind the scenes by basically stating that she was going to leave the show if they put Coop and Audrey together because she was apparently very, very jealous of Sherilyn Fenn here. So I wonder if she would have been a team player back in the day, like you're supposed to be when you're in an ensemble cast of a TV show. If she wouldn't have been a bitch about it. How do you think that the story would have changed besides besides Annie not bringing in? Can anybody think of anything that would have also just either been fundamentally changed or maybe something couldn't have happened because of that? Besides me?
well, like Audrey's whole like plot in the 3rd season, I feel like she just kind of got dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell that they were kind of floundering for something to do with her there towards the end,
Yeah.
which I think is why they sent her to One Eye Jacks because that was away from everybody else in the cast. If you think about it, like most of her scenes took place in that brothel for what, half a season, maybe?
Yep.
That she was gone. So it almost feels like it was punishment in a way, even though she wasn't the one that needed to be punished for it.
Yeah, I
Which
think
guess-
interactions with her father would have changed probably pretty dramatically as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you think they would have gotten to the father-daughter reconciliation period quicker?
Oof. Hard to say.
Because that was really late in season 2.
Yeah, it was.
I think maybe it could have. Honestly, it could have gone. That could have gone either way. It could have hastened it by. I honestly feel like when she was there and her father walked into the room thinking that she was going to be another, pro, like all the rest. I think after that happened and they talked, they came to that sort of a mutual understanding of sorts. So I think that might have actually benefited them in a way, even though it's very weird to think about.
Traumatic?
Yeah, just a lot. Just a lot. But I honestly think that played a role in it, because after that, she knew who he was. There was no smoke screen of my father's just a clean businessman that runs a hotel. Like, she knew everything that he was up to from that point forward. And I think that benefited them, honestly, in the long run, especially considering she was able to leverage that against him to get herself in the door when it came to the business.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we thank her for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trailer. Here we go.
Okay, Cooper. Let me in on whatever the hell is going on here.
Ain't that the truth? That's a great quote for this show right there. You'll love it or hate it, but you have to watch it.
And there's always music in the air.
What is that? That's Jacques' cabin, right? Yeah, the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that woman's got a set of pipes on her. Jesus. Fuck. Lynch put her through hell. Like, so many scenes of hers are just her screaming or being attacked by someone.
Yeah.
All you good people. You wanna know who killed Laura? Gil did! We all did.
I always enjoyed that speech from Bobby because he's right on the money there. That town had so many people that were just looking the other way at all times with everything. Like, even the police at times, not intentionally or not really with any malice intended, but even they just completely overlook things because of the idyllic nature of a town as small as Twin Peaks. You go somewhere like that and you hope to never have to deal with the main troubles of the world that you're going to find in cities.
I guess you could say that about most anything in life.
not so bad as long as you can keep the fear from your mind.
I like that. Seen that like logo.
It's an interesting logo. I'm not used to that one. I've never
Yeah.
seen it. I mean, this is fan made, obviously, because there aren't really.
Oh.
I wanted to go back so that I could show you. Actually, there's when you look up a season 1 trailer, and I forgot about this because on my Blu-ray box set, it's like this as well. All you really got was like where is it? Season 1 trailer. Here we go. Here we go.
Nice.
Network promos and previews. Here we go. This is what you got back in the day. Now this was Twin Peaks started in 1990 and ran. It was a mid-season replacement, which means it premiered in the second half of the television season. If you don't know, especially for network television, most seasons start around September or October, and they run until May of the next year. But everybody knows they take off for the holidays. So you usually get a front half of a season, and then you get a back half. And they call that like the mid-season premiere that you would get in January, when everybody's back and into the groove and sitting in front of their televisions again. They bring shows back or whatever. So this one was I'm pretty sure it was April when it premiered. But it was a last minute edition, if I'm not mistaken. And they had 8 episodes to run. So they ran it at the very end of the season. And it was so popular that they greenlit the second season to premiere in September instead of waiting until the next year, like you would think they would do for a mid-season show like that. Oh man. Old network promos.
Tonight,
Oh, I'm
an
getting
ABC
jazzed now.
premiere presentation. She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Yes.
Look, you guys, please. What did I do? What's going on?
Wrapped in plastic.
Entering the town of Twin Peaks. FBI. Right.
Something troubling you, Bobby? You want to tell us about it?
Andy.
Great.
We haven't mentioned Andy yet, and that saddens me, but
Oh.
we'll wait till this one's done here.
I killed her?
There it is. Oh my God, here it is.
Oh, that scene. I do want to mention that.
You think I killed her?
Second.
There it is.
If you pay attention here in this scene, I pointed this out to our Midnight Society while we were watching it, but for the people that are watching at home, this scene here,
I killed her?
There it is. Oh my
Right
God,
here.
here it is.
you can see that fluorescent bulb up here is broken, basically. That was not on purpose. The light literally wasn't working, but Lynch felt that it added to the scene, so they didn't fix it. They just went ahead and filmed the scene anyways. And
Yeah.
if you guys remember, this is also the scene where this gentleman here in the Scrubs fucked up his line because Cooper asked him to leave, and he responds with David, like thinking the guy asked him what his name was, and then Coop says it again. He's like, "Will you excuse us, please?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, sure." The best part was that guy didn't even give his character's name. He gave his real name. Who does that? Like, how does
I
that?
feel like
I love that.
I feel like it's like almost like a cosmic game of yes and improv. Just like play it where it lies. Just
Yeah.
work with what you got. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that actually does make sense. I love that about Lynch, though, the fact that he'll just roll with it. Like, okay, I guess this is how it was supposed to be. Kind of feeling, you know?
Twin Peaks. Next.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Coming.
So yeah, that was that was what you got back in the day when it came for trailers. Which honestly, watching it again, oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit the wire there. Watching it again, it gives you just enough, actually, in my opinion. We're so used to trailers nowadays. They're so like you'll get a 2.5 minute long trailer, 3 minute long trailer, where they literally give you the story beats
The whole movie.
one at a time. Yeah, you get the whole movie like condensed into 3 minutes, and I hate that. Like, I can't stand that. Like, if it's a movie that I know I'm going to see anyways because I'm looking forward to it, sometimes I will skip the trailer altogether.
Yep.
Me too. Almost every time.
Yep.
There's a few more here, and I'm actually very interested in them because I want to see like I love network bumpers from back in the day. Like you always had the same guy doing the voice for each one, you know?
And they say something like kind of relevant, but just ridiculous.
And vague as fuck, usually.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Coming Sunday, April 8th. She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering the town of Twin Peaks.
The Los Angeles Times says Twin Peaks.
What was that, Des?
We need that on our soundboard, don't we? Wrapped in plastic.
He's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
For sure.
Yeah, we do.
I gotta.
I'm a whole damn town!
The context makes that. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, it just sounds dumb. But oh my god, no, I don't even want to ruin
talking
that
about
one.
sperm.
Yeah, he's talking about his sperm count there. As he was originally told that he couldn't have kids because of his low sperm count. And when Andy's a little
He's special.
he's a little special.
He's artistic.
Yeah.
Very artistic. Yes. I would actually say he's probably on the spectrum. Like no joke. Like
Yeah. Yep.
he
not even
probably
fucking
is.
around.
Yeah.
Like
Him
he's
and Lucy.
yeah, him and Lucy. True. That's probably why they're so good together.
Yeah.
Like, I think they have a mutual understanding of each other. So I've always liked that they were a couple because they're so perfect together. They're like the cutest couple in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cute.
This is
She's
certainly-
adorable.
She really is. Like she's like the best. Her and Andy are like the best comic relief of the entire series.
They are.
in my opinion. Like especially for the
couch.
first 2 seasons. First 2 seasons,
Yes.
definitely. Season 3, a lot of my laughs actually came from Gordon and Albert, especially
Yeah.
Albert and Cole carried the return most of the whenever Kyle MacLachlan wasn't on scene, like in the scene, playing one of the 4 different versions of Cooper that he played.
Yeah.
4 different versions. But whenever he wasn't on screen, it was literally Gordon Cole and Albert that were carrying the show. And if you don't know, those at home that maybe have not seen the series, Gordon Cole is actually played by David Lynch himself, the creator, co-creator, director, writer. So I always love that he just self-inserts himself into his stuff that he writes.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and he puts himself
I
with
need to
like
speak
beautiful
to you
women.
privately.
Are you telling me I wrote, directed, and produced this show?
Yeah.
I love him to death. Like he pairs himself up with like the most gorgeous women in the
Yeah.
production,
No
which is
shame.
just so funny. Like no shame whatsoever. But
That
the best part
awkward,
is like
5
Oh, go-
minutes
go
with
ahead,
a French
Sam.
girl. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
the French girl. Yeah, that was season 3, but it was so good. Like
It was
he just sits there and waits, and they just smile, and Albert's just like,
Yeah.
why is this taking so long? That's one of the things I did love about the 3rd season was Lynch took as much time as he wanted. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. Like there's a 3-minute scene of somebody sweeping at the roadhouse.
Yeah.
Just
that's
because
right.
it worked. I mean, it worked with
That
what was going
scene-
on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I remember Abe, actually. I remember Abe was like, is the episode really going to end with him sweeping?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, okay, but it's endeared.
Did that one have... I can't remember if that one actually had a musical performance in it or not.
I think
it...
that... Did it?
I'm not sure. Anyways, I remember Jacques was... Well, not Jacques. Jacques died, if I'm not mistaken. Jean Renault, I'm pretty sure, is the brother that's in season 3. I remember that guy was in the background. He was talking on the phone to somebody while the other dude swept up the roadhouse. But
If
going
anyone's
back,
interested, you can find a 5 times slower version of the Roadhouse sweeping on YouTube,
oh my
which
god, are you
is
serious?
12 minutes
Oh.
long.
That's...
I'm so glad
That's
somebody
almost
took
worth
the
it.
time to do that.
Right.
That makes me happy. I wonder if they like watched it
I
over
might.
and over again to make sure it was perfect. Just some guy sitting there for 2 hours trying to get a sweeping scene correct. And he's not David Lynch.
David Lynch looks over to his girlfriend, says, I bet I can make people watch a man sweep the floor for 2 solid minutes.
There's no way you can do that, honey. Watch me.
Watch me. Yes.
And then we eat it up and fucking love it, and then dissect it on a show later. Like, why were they sweeping for 2 minutes? What does that tie into? Is there some sort of metaphor there? No.
It was just aesthetics. It was just pleasing.
Yeah.
It was
It's
just,
part of
it's
the
like that
art.
ASMR.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really did honestly have a little bit of that quality to it, because
Mm-hmm.
you kind of got a little bit of the white noise from Jean on the phone in the background, and the sweeping kind of went hand in hand with the music that was playing at the time. So it was just kind of like you ended up in a daze. I remember I watched it the first time, and I wasn't angry about it until the episode ended. But I mean, I wasn't actually angry. It was because you have to remember, I actually did see The Return live. I watched that live when it came back in 2017. But I personally had only been waiting for... Okay, I don't think it was 03. No, it was much later when I discovered it. I think it was around somewhere between 2008 and 2010. I'm not sure which. So let's say 2008 was when I found it at the earliest. So that was what, 9 years before it came back?
Wow.
Which is, it's a long time. Don't get me wrong, but there's people that waited 2.5 times that much for this to come back at some point. And that's crazy.
That's great. Yeah, that's insane.
The fact that it had that much of a presence to where it stayed with people for 25 fucking years, to the point where this was right around the time they brought the X-Files back for 2 seasons. They brought 24 back for a season. 2 seasons, actually. One of them didn't have Kiefer Sutherland in it, so I don't count that one. But they brought it back.
It was the reboot era.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. It was the reboot era. It was. We've run out of ideas, so let's bring back our best shows. And one of those.
Just the right time for it.
It was kind of the perfect storm, because for those of us that have watched it, we saw. I think it's more than once. It might be 2 or 3. It might be 3 times. I know it's at least twice, but they mentioned specifically, "I'll see you again in 25 years."
Yeah, that was cool.
And for that to line up is absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. It was it was the perfect storm. It was renewed right when it was 25 years, is when Lynch announced it on Twitter. Now, that was 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2014. But it took them 3 years to make that season. From what I understand, the first year was mainly Lynch quitting over and over again because they wouldn't give him what he wanted. Which is like, you're really trying to bring back Twin Peaks and not give him complete creative control? What? That didn't work well the first time.
Yeah.
Why would that be better now? Like, do you think he's mellowed in his old age? No, he's gotten fucking weirder.
Yeah. And more
In the
bold.
best way possible. In the best way possible. And I can't blame him, you know? The man's set. He never has to worry about a thing again in his life. He's made so many brilliant movies, and you know, he's got Twin Peaks under his belt, obviously, and he could have walked away from that and never returned to it. And people would probably, well, I know it actually, people would still hold this series as high as they do now. Like, nothing would change.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that left in the middle of watching The Return, but they still love the first two seasons, you know? Like,
Yeah.
So
they just had different expectations.
Yes,
probably.
exactly. That was the main problem with The Return, which is why I always emphasize watching Firewalk with Me, the missing pieces from Firewalk with Me, way before season 3 starts, so that you can get used to the tone shift, you know, because it goes from you know, like Abe and I were mentioning earlier with the whole soap opera feel. It's got that.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's mainly tongue-in-cheek when the soap opera elements come into play. For God's sakes, they filmed their own soap opera for the show called The Invitation to Love. Oh yeah, that's another special feature right there. They had the Invitation to Love episodes that you could watch.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm gonna bring one of those up here real quick. But you could the fact that they went so far as to cast and film a separate series to put inside of the series just makes me appreciate it all the more, man. It's just,
I love that.
That's next level.
It's so insane.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's that big abrupt tone shift between the second season and the film. And you know, some people loved it, like myself. I was all in when I saw what it was going to be. Like, because when The Return released, it was a Sunday night, and they aired the first 2 episodes on Showtime itself. I remember I fucking bought Showtime just for this. I'd never done that before with cable. Like, I didn't even know how to get add-on channels on cable. Like, I'd never really looked into that. So, but for this, I originally got Showtime in my cable package until I realized, oh, we're going to be getting more content quicker on their website. So I canceled it through my cable package and started paying for it online. And that was really early streaming. Really fucking early streaming at that point. But Showtime had their on-demand website. And that night, whereas they only showed 2 on TV itself, they posted 4. So you got the first 4 hours on the first week, which was fucking insane and incredible. Which is why, if you have the Blu-ray set of The Return, there's alternate cuts to where episodes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are combined as feature-length films. Which is that's how I always watch them, because it basically just makes each episode like 2 hours and some change versus, you know, an hour apiece.
Yeah.
Oh my God, somebody has the entire Invitation to Love series uploaded here.
And every hour
still screen sharing?
holds the promise of an
Yep.
invitation to love.
Oh, the movie guy voice. I love it.
Okay, so once again, this was actually aired on the television sets that people were watching in the show. Like this was like you would
like in the background.
and it would always mirror. What I loved about it is it would mirror what was going on in the real world of Twin Peaks. Like if you paid attention to what was going on, it would relate back to it in some way, which I thought was fucking genius as well. Just adding another layer to it. Let's see what this. I haven't seen these in years. Oh yeah, this really does look like a soap opera. They all live in a fucking apartment complex together, of course. It's Golden Girls.
The music.
There's no music.
Do, 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 do.
She looks angry.
Oh my God! Is that Jessie from Saved by the Bell?
It looks like it.
Is it?
No.
No,
There's no way.
No.
No. Just some hair.
Reason, Chet? Since when have I ever needed a reason to do anything?
For Chair is your father.
You can tell they actually put time into this. That's,
Yeah.
That's so funny. Like, I wonder if they had a secondary team that just filmed this. And that's such...
Or if this was like, yeah, somebody's like pet project that they're like, I've always wanted to make a soap opera, but I don't want to take it seriously or have anybody take it seriously or like actually watch
outlet.
it.
Best outlet for it.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm gonna do that. That's hella cool.
Lynch could give you.
It's
Lynch
pretty much
could
what we
give
do
you a
on this
couple-
channel, huh?
Couple story beats, from the episode, so that you know what to work with, and you're like, okay, I can build this around this, and okay. I wonder if there were two separate crews. Like I wonder if there was a crew that was literally just meant to film Invitation to Love, because that's funny. Like, because you can say you work on Twin Peaks, but you're filming a show called Invitation to Love.
Okay,
So
so
okay.
a little Easter egg that I just found was that when Audrey was working at the Horns perfume counter,
Yes.
there is a cutout of the woman from Invitation to Love. Just to the left of the counter. Yeah, it's a full-size cutout of her.
Of this lady right here with the big hair?
Yep.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
That's perfect. I'm gonna click play
In
on
world
this.
universes.
I love it.
Continuity.
I love when people put this much thought into the product that they're giving to people to consume. Too many times nowadays, you look at Marvel, you look at most movie studios now. I don't see a lot of care being put into movies and shows anymore.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad. Because I know there
Or
are incredible
character.
writers out there. Sorry, Des, what did you say?
Oh, and character. Like, just the character of shows that, like, yeah.
Things used to have a
like
distinct
having that
feel.
kind of rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would get most shows had a distinct aesthetic and maybe not a message to convey, but different ideas and views to pull from to create their own like tapestry of the world that they're living in, if that makes sense. So that I feel like a lot of that has been stripped away from modern entertainment just for the purposes of appealing to as many people as possible. If that makes sense, especially with how polarized things are nowadays.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like, without having to lay a whole groundwork for a universe, they just say it's Marvel. Like, this is in the same universe as Marvel. And then everybody can just assume, like, oh, okay, so when so-and-so shows up, like, it's because they're in the same universe. And you don't have to, like, lay all that groundwork of building.
Yeah. I don't...
It's lazy.
It really is. Because it makes me sad. You look back at God, we really are showing our age here. We sound like we're old people complaining about how things have changed.
Well,
but I mean,
we are on YouTube.
They have changed, and not for the better.
They have. Yeah.
We've gotten to the point where I think people mainly. I think a lot of people consume things because they think that that's what they're supposed to be watching. I don't know if I'm that's just a personal opinion. But I think a lot of soul has been sucked out of a lot of things especially network television. They want to play it super safe now. Like they want as many old people as they have left watching their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know that most of us are streaming or watching YouTubers.
They should just start remaking Gunsmoke in old westerns.
Oh my god, that'd be
and
great.
they'll
Bonanza?
be good. They'll be set. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'd only be sad that my grandpa's not here to see it, because he'd fucking love to see a western renaissance. That'd be great. I could see it happening, actually. I could see there being a western resurgence. That could totally happen.
But are there still the horse trainers for it?
Fucking hope so.
Or are they gonna have to use CGI horses?
They can probably grab half of the people from Yellowstone.
Oh,
yeah.
True. That was pretty. Yeah.
I'm sure they can get it done. I mean, that's a good show. I'm not gonna lie. Fun show. Glad Piper Perabo is in there now. I've always liked her. But okay, I'm gonna press play on this again because I kind of want to see what this scene's about.
And Jade's my sister.
And Jade's my wife. I'm sorry. But Emerald, you know your father loves you. He loves you both. Well, with all his financial difficulties, and he's been out of the hospital
That's
less
some
than a
good
week.
dubbing.
Does that mean I'm supposed to
Yeah.
suffer too?
I'm getting
They
used to this
both
show.
look like deer's caught in headlights the entire time, especially this dude. This dude just looks like he has no idea what's going on.
He looks like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
And it does, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
see
does.
that actually. Yeah, holy fuck. Kels, you were saying something. What was that?
I was just gonna say I need more of this. This is exciting.
There's 16 minutes of it.
For God's sake,
So
these
this
games are real.
whole show is all friends and family of Mark Frost.
Really?
Mark Frost filmed this completely separate.
See, that's what I was curious about right there. Was so there was a separate crew for this, and
Yep.
it was all people that Mark Frost knew.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
That's
fun.
interesting. I don't think we've actually
Oh, wait,
mentioned
here's another
Frost
question.
at all, which is Mark Frost was the co-creator and co-writer of the show. Sorry, Des, what were you saying?
Yeah, we don't mention it.
Yeah, we never mentioned Mark Frost, and I mean he plays a big role in it too. He's the guy that he did Hill Street Blues right before he came to do Twin Peaks. So, I mean, without Frost, it never would have been made because he was the name that got them the meeting to begin with. Because, David Lynch, a filmmaker that's known for his weird shit, shows up for a TV show meeting. They might entertain him, but they probably won't take it too seriously. But since he had Mark Frost with him, and Mark Frost handled the little bit of mythology that was there for Hill Street Blues, and obviously knew how to write a procedural drama, because Hill Street Blues is a cop drama. So, he had all of that in him already, which made it easier for ABC to be like,
It's
okay,
more,
this could make sense.
to greenlight it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have talked to Jade that way when she was with him in the hospital.
Jade. Everyone's worried about Jade.
His fucking eyes, Des. What the fuck?
I love it. She is so high on cocaine.
so blown. So blown right now.
Yep.
Because she's a kind and loving person. Not like...
Not like me? There was a time when you wanted my love, Chet. You wanted like nothing else in this world.
Oh. Good God.
Our marriage is in the past.
So, for anybody that doesn't know, Jade there has a twin sister named Emerald. Emerald.
Wow.
And from what I remember, the backstory is that they're fighting over this guy the entire time because I believe he's loaded. So, like typical soap opera story, seriously.
Experience is a great and bitter teacher.
So is money.
That guy's name
Chet,
is
you're a
Chet
fool.
Weems.
And Jade's a
It's
fool.
a hell of a name.
But my father's the biggest fool
So
of all.
strong name.
Oh,
So what is that?
ladies, please, never put your cigarettes out in a man's drink or anybody's drink. Actually, it doesn't even.
No.
It doesn't matter. Just don't waste drinks.
Make me.
It's alcohol
Or
abuse.
cigarettes.
Cheers. This motherfucker.
Montana?
Who's
Yeah.
a leather
Honestly.
daddy? Ah! George Michael.
Hello.
Yeah.
beautiful.
He'd come back.
His name is Jason Denbo.
I'm so glad we have Abe looking up the IMDb.
It's
for
so
fucking
fun.
Invitation to Love right now. Is there an actual IMDb page for just Invitation to Love?
There's a fandom page.
Good. I'm glad there's something.
And it is deep.
Oh
Send
my
me that in a
gosh.
DM when you, if sometime
Alright.
when you don't mind.
My gosh.
This man's still drinking it.
Ew.
So yeah, that was like the first. I remember how they were split up. I know how they're split up on the Blu-ray box set because all these are in the Blu-ray box too. But obviously they're still in the same shit quality because they didn't have the masters to do new scans of when it came to this stuff. As you can see, I'm pretty sure from these numbers up here, this is the time on the camera itself. So I believe these are just copies of the dailies. They're either copies of the dailies or the original thing that they, I want to say mixed down, but that's not the right word. I'm thinking along the lines of audio.
So it was actually all filmed on VHS tape.
Oh,
The
see,
whole
there you
thing.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, Abe. Once again.
Yeah.
It looks like it. It really does.
It does, yeah. And that
Yeah.
accounts
Yeah.
for the clock too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what the. Let's see. What
Alright,
the
I'm stopped Googling shit.
No. Please, you're helping out here. Penthouse. Jesus. That fucking coat.
Oh, he's so purple.
Fuck, I want that robe. That is my next robe. Because if you don't know at home, I'm all about robes. Here.
Oh.
Where is my robe?
Oh, do it,
I
man.
love the overshaking hand. Like, it's just, you can tell he's just like putting it in.
Invitation to love.
I guess that was the
will
teaser.
return.
Invitation to Love will return.
To love. Starring
Here we go.
Martin
Here we go.
Hadley.
This was
Invitation.
the opening credits for it.
Invitation to Love. Starring Martin Padley as Chet.
Oh no. Chet.
So what was that guy's real name? Abe?
That was Chet Weems.
Okay, so he plays
Oh.
a guy named his real name.
Oh, I'm sorry. His real name is Martin Padley.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Selena Swift and Padley.
Oh,
Invitation
they used
to
real names then. Okay.
Oh,
Love.
okay.
Starring
So sorry,
Oh
keep
fuck, I
hitting
had it
Martin
backwards.
Padley
My bad.
as Chet.
Again?
Probably?
No, he said Martin Padley as Chet.
Okay.
Yes.
Selena Swift as Emerald and Jade. Evan St. Vincent
It's gorgeous.
as Jared Lancaster.
And one of them
Jason
just like
Denbo
blinks constantly, and the other
as
one does not at
Montana.
all.
So that's it. There's 3 actors in the show, and that's it. Okay, anyways, let's move on. All right, sorry about that. we were back over here.
Like nothing else on television.
W.C. Fields would say, I'd rather be here than Philadelphia.
The Washington Post calls it unprecedented. This you gotta see.
Bobby, did you kill Laura Palmer?
Sunday, April 8th, from David Lynch, Twin Peaks.
So it's, I do like that. I didn't notice this before, but I do appreciate that they advertised it as David Lynch's Twin Peaks. I didn't realize that. I thought, I didn't think they were really relying on his star power at all for this show. From the stuff that I remember seeing back in the day. But I guess that's different.
There's only one place on Earth you can find out.
Is there something wrong, young pretty girl?
Twin Peaks, April 8th.
Yeah, there we go. April 8th. That's when the
Doubt.
Is there something wrong, young pretty girl?
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, April 8th. That was when the pilot premiered. So April 8th, 1990.
April 8th.
I guarantee 65 to 70% of the people that watch this weren't alive when this aired originally.
Twin Peaks easily outdazzles all the new network
You
shows.
really can't miss this show of the night.
Something of a miracle. It is like nothing else on television.
A breakthrough.
Be there. A plus. Tale of sex, violence, and junk.
A tangled tale of sex, violence, and
Wait,
junk
wait,
food.
wait.
Oh, the coffee and
donuts?
cherry pie.
Donuts.
And the donuts, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Masterpiece of the night.
Like nothing on earth.
Twin Peaks, Sunday.
Oh wow.
Oh, I love these.
Yeah.
There's a minute
TV
and a half
has
left
not
of these.
changed.
I wanna finish these.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure we're being fair use right now. I'm making sure to pause it at least every 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard about a TV show like this?
TV has never seen a small town like Twin Peaks.
Or this?
It is like nothing else on television.
Or this?
Unprecedented. This you gotta see.
Please, open up. The answer is never. Because you've never seen TV like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Twin Peaks, Sunday on ABC.
I always love that scene with the,
Okay.
what is that, a llama? An emu?
Yeah.
So goofy.
And when I say I'm trying to avoid any copyright stuff, I don't want the stream to get taken down. We're not monetized.
Oh.
That's fine. It's whatever. But
This is fair use reactionary comment.
I would hope it is. I mean,
Yeah.
we're trying to actually be fair use with it.
If you miss it Sunday, you won't know what everyone's talking about on Monday.
Morning, Lucy. What's going on?
That
Shut up.
that is actually. Sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Des?
Oh, I just put the chat up. That'll help.
Okay. That's actually a good point. I don't know if did everybody hear that part right here? Hold on.
Everyone's talking about on Monday.
Here.
If you miss it Sunday, you won't know what everyone's talking about on Monday.
That was a
Oh, yeah.
big part of this show. From what I remember, is they called it the water cooler effect, which was
Yep.
everybody would end up at the water cooler at work, and you'd say
Did
something
you see
like,
Twin Peaks this
yeah,
weekend?
exactly. Did you see Twin
Yeah.
Peaks last night? That played a big role in this show becoming as big as it did. Was word of mouth, just that mystery element to it. The only time I can remember in my lifetime that happened with a show was Lost. I remember Lost being big enough to where
Yep.
everybody at work
Yeah.
would go outside for a smoke break and be like, "Bro, did you see Lost last night?" Yeah. What the fuck is going on? It was one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the first examples of that, because
Yeah.
how dense and layered and just out there that it is. It's
And you
just
You can't miss an episode.
yeah, literally,
Like-
you can't. Especially not at the beginning. You really couldn't miss anything. In season 2, I'll admit there are a few you probably could skip. Towards the end. The end, not the beginning. The beginning, once again, is just like season 1. But
Yeah.
that second half where they tried to shift into the Wyndham Earl storyline and the path to the Black Lodge, while I appreciate both those, I loved Wyndham Earl as a character. I thought he was great. And I obviously love the trek to the Black Lodge because that's like my favorite part of the show is the lodges and all the other alternate worlds and stuff like that we get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Lucy. What's going on?
Jared decided not to kill himself, and he's changed his will, leaving the towers to Jade instead of Emerald, but Emerald found out about it, and now she's trying to get Chet to give
Twin
her the
Peaks.
Talking about
Sunday.
invitation to love.
What's going on here?
I love that.
Of course. I remember that actually. They were walking in, and the scene started, I'm sure, a few seconds earlier with her actually watching Invitation to Love on her little TV that she has right there at her desk. So that makes sense.
Diane, 2:15 p.m. I've just checked into the Great Northern Hotel in Twin Peaks. I've got to find out what kind of incredible trees they've got up here. I'll be meeting the sheriff at the morgue to examine the girl's body. There's a good chance the person who committed these crimes is...
Twin Peaks, a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there. Sunday.
That's a good. That is a good promo. I'm not gonna lie. Like at least up until the line at the end, like the whole you get a good. That is how you do things right there. I really appreciate this one. You get some well, not symbolism, but you get some. It's representative of the things that you're going to see when you watch the show with the donuts and everything like that, the coffee. And you get a lot of good exposition here. Not enough to where you're overly loaded with info. Yeah, it's just enough to hook you to where you're like, well, that sounds interesting.
What kind of incredible trees they've got up here. I'll be meeting the sheriff at Twin Peaks. Diane, 2:15 p.m. I've just checked into the Great Northern Hotel in Twin Peaks. I've got to find out what kind of incredible trees they've got up here. I'll be meeting the sheriff at the morgue to examine the girl's body. There's a good chance the person who committed these crimes is...
That's perfect. Perfect. You get just enough.
Incredible trees?
Yeah, it's remember he was very, very concerned about the Douglas firs. He wanted to know what kind of trees.
Oh,
they were.
yeah.
That's right.
I remember with David Lynch, one of his things was when they did the pitch to ABC, one of the things he said to them was actually Frost did most of the explaining of like the major story, and from what secondhand accounts from people that were there say that one of the only things that Lynch actually said was in the middle of something he randomly added in, and this is my best Lynch impression, and there's something about the wind in the trees. That's like one of the only things he said during the meeting.
Yeah.
That and your usual pleasantries like hello, nice to meet you, thank you for having us, that kind of stuff. But when it was being pitched, that's like one of the only things he said. So but this is great because it gives you just enough, like you get a little bit of a look behind the curtain of what Cooper's doing. You get an idea of his personality as well because he mentions the trees, like it's just random extraneous information. And that was very well edited right there at the end where it says
There's a good chance the person who committed these crimes is...
The finger stops it right before he could possibly say a name, even though that's obviously not what he's saying because that's a different recording.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that right there. That one's good.
Twin Peaks, a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there.
That's where it kind of falls apart for me. But you wouldn't want to die there?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait.
is that like, are you saying I wouldn't want to like die of old age there? Or
Yeah.
Right?
Wanna
Like you want to move out?
settle
before
down
you
there?
Die?
Yeah, like so.
Okay.
So I need to go to Twin Peaks. I need to settle down. I need to live a fulfilling life, and then right before I die, move.
Yeah.
No, just visit. Just visit.
Just visit for 15 years. Gotcha, Des. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday.
Last one.
I found my friend Laura lying face down on a rocky beach, completely naked. She'd been murdered.
Twin Peaks, a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there. Sunday.
I guess there could be something to be said for
Like, do they not have a morgue? Do they not have a good cemetery or something?
Well, I mean, I guess you could kind of look at it as you know, if you die somewhere else, it could be from normal stuff. But if you die in Twin Peaks, it's probably because of
murder.
some of the crazy shit they've got going on there.
Yeah.
So, you know,
all the murdering.
all the murdering, you know, kind
Yeah.
of comes into play there, and you can't help but, you know, tie into it.
Great coffee and apple pie, but the murder is just.
The murders kind of ruin the
Yeah,
vibe.
and they just kind of, you know. These were also included in the special features. Apparently, these would air in the middle of episodes, like during the commercial breaks. Like in the middle of the commercials, they would air these with Lucy. These are fun.
I'm going to get the sheriff. Twin Peaks will be right back.
Like stuff like that.
I love that.
It's great. Hold on. There's 40 seconds worth of these, and I think it's like 7 or 8, something like that.
That's cute.
Time for a cup of joe and a donut. Twin Peaks will be right back.
It just
So anime.
I know it plays
It
right
is.
into everything though. She's got the best voice.
So cute. She does.
It's time for a donut. Twin Peaks will
Reminds
be
me of
right back.
Ashley Johnson. A lot.
I think it's time for a donut. Twin Peaks will be right
3
back.
of the same bump.
It is very
Donut.
anime.
Those Douglas firs and Twin Peaks will be right back.
What?
Those Douglas firs will be right back.
The trees are
Stop
coming back.
sighing.
Don't worry, they'll be back. They're not going anywhere.
Just really concerned about the trees.
Twin Peaks will be right back.
The echo.
What'd you say?
What was the echo on that one? Hold on.
She said something about the Black
Right.
Lodge.
Stop sawing logs.
Stop sawing
Stop
logs.
sawing logs. Twin Peaks will be right back.
Which you're snoozing.
Stop sawing logs. Oh,
random.
man. I love her to death. I love her to death.
Yeah.
So glad she was in the show, especially because the only reason we got David Duchovny as Agent Denise Bryson was because they were dating at the time. So,
Oh, really?
So she got him the you know, the fuck, what are they called? Come on. Audition. Audition.
Audition. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So
funny.
apparently that would not have happened without her. So we have her to thank for this.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for the X-Files.
Yes, as well. That's actually a good point. I'm not sure if David Duchovny would have been on the radar for the X-Files if that wouldn't have happened either.
I would guess not.
Because you got to remember, the X-Files was literally a year later, in '91. Is when it started. I'm pretty sure it's either 91 or 92. Let me check here.
The director saw David Duchovny in drag and said, "That's got to be my main
That's my man."
agent."
Obviously.
That's my man.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. X-Files started in '93. Okay, so it was technically 2 years after. Yeah, 2 years after Duchovny was in Twin Peaks. So I don't think it would have. I'm not sure David Duchovny would have been in the X-Files, to be honest. I think that was one of his first big TV appearances, if I'm not mistaken.
Certainly didn't hurt. Yeah.
No, definitely not. You know, I often wonder about the state of entertainment and where it would be now without this show. Just because of the implications that it had on the stories, you know, with like we mentioned earlier, the serialization, The way they told the story, especially, holding things back as much as possible. That played a big role in things, I think, because a show like Lost wouldn't have been able to do what they did. It took them technically 7 years, 6 seasons to really properly explain things, and a lot of people still don't even like that ending.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of it personally. I understood it. I didn't have a problem with it at all. But I understood why people would. But we're not talking about Lost. Not today. Not today. We'll get a dissection of that one in sometime, but definitely not now.
Oh, I'd love
All
that.
right.
I have strong opinions about Lost.
Do you?
Same.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, then. There we go. All right, that'll have to happen soon. Lost series celebration coming soon here on Clear World Radio, everybody. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Clear World Radio. I'm Nodle. We've got Des. We've got Abe.
Hey.
We've got Sin. And we've got Kels. Is that all?
Yep.
All right, cool. Cool.
Right now?
Yes. Anyways, just reintroducing people there. Does anybody really have, before we what I want to do is I want to take a breather here in a few, and when we come back, really heavily focus on Firewalk with Me and the 3rd season. How's that sound?
Get even more spoilery.
Yes. So if you haven't seen any of that stuff, I would recommend not watching. I'm sure there's going to be, well, actually, no. I mean, God, I'm turning people away from our show. Never mind. No, please watch, even if it spoils the entire series.
Be aware.
Yeah,
Listen to us, be very confused, and then go watch it for yourself.
There you go. You're not going. That's actually a good point, because you're not going to get solid, concrete
No.
answers out of us, because we don't have them to give to you. Nobody does, except for Lynch and Frost. So, I mean,
I don't even think that the killer is the killer. Like in the end.
Like Bob.
Well, I don't think she dies. Yeah.
Huh.
We'll get to it in the second half.
Yeah, we will. We will.
I'll tell you.
Okay. He does throw me up a Be Right Back screen so I can grab the guitar and I'll play these people into a nice intermission, please, ma'am.
Cool. You got it. 2, 1. Oh, whoa. Oh, okay.
All right. So, it is that time of the show. I'm gonna play a song, and we're gonna take a break. And just like those Lucy bumpers said, grab your donuts, your cherry pie, your coffee, your well, now we're getting into my territory. Your smokes, a drink of alcoholic nature, maybe some green.
It's a radio break.
Roll up, or something like that. Whatever you need, really. We're going to provide that real quick. But before that, song time. Hello. Another Twin Peaks reference that only Twin Peaks fans will get. This one's called You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone. Tell me something that I ain't heard, 'cause I'm tired of the same old words. Tell me all I know that you've changed. Guess all I know you're the same. I could tell you I was doing alright, you could always see through my lies. So you think you're gonna walk away? Farewell, oh well, what the hell? 'Cause I can't take the shame, being afraid what I can't even see. Think it's time for me to move on, but you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. All my friends are buried and gone. I fucked around and I lost my place. Now I'm trying to find my way back to where the wind just ain't so cold. Turned everything upside down, left the pieces laying all around. Almost gave up on a second chance. Didn't seem worth it in the end. 'Cause I can't take the shame, being afraid what I can't even see. Think it's time for me to move on, but you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. All right, we'll be back in 10 or 15. See you soon.
piled up. Man, it was wall to wall, blink of an eye, and all the problems solved. Let's all go play Nagasaki. We can all get vaporized. Hold my hand, let's turn to ash. I'll see you on the other side. Before the garden, when we were all alone, you made the atom. Was that some inside joke? Open the gates and then conceal the path. Let's load the gun and see how long they last.
There goes the siren again. Oh, there goes another round. I go to the bunker now.
Let's go ring and run the bunkers. Baby, won't you come outside? Across the sea, the birds are free. Let's watch them scream across the sky. Let's all go and meet a maker. They don't care whose side you're on. We're so afraid. I prayed and prayed before I learned to love the bomb.
Come on, Jack, you're to the side now. He's brave and he's always going that bunker. Don't worry about him. No, now I just got much more to say. Give my love to your parents and to my parents. I'll send my parents to take as soon as I get.
just 17. Pious and pretty with a deadly disease, and the weight of the world on a prosthetic shoulder. And by the summer of 96, her body was cracked like porcelain, just like some precious moments collectible in a hospital gown and a big bright golden halo. And so 3 cheers for my morose and grieving pals. And now let's hear it for the tears that I've welled up. We've come too far to have to give it all up now. We live lives that are rich and blessed, and we'll burn for how we transgress. Now I've mastered the art of the open casket prayer and the singing guitar. I found the rewards weren't half what I'd hoped for. And meanwhile we all feigned hope and mirth as her parents went on and lied to her all about the success of the surgeries and how my ex-girlfriend was now sleeping with her fiancé. And so 3 cheers for my morose and grieving pals. And now let's hear it for the tears that I've welled up. We've come too far to have to give it all up now. We live lives that are rich and blessed, and we'll burn for how we transgress. Justice in heaven, then God won't let me in. He'll lock the gates and take my weekend pass away. With a sympathetic wave, they'll see me off. Reserve my golden crown while I'm cursed to walk the earth for millennia. I know I deserve worse, but it terrifies me and I can't take it anymore. And so 3 cheers for my morose and grieving pals. And now let's hear it for the tears that I've welled up. We've come too far to have to give it all up now. We live lives that are rich and blessed, and we'll burn for how we transgress.
Welcome back to Clear World Radio, everybody. Once again, my name's Nodle. Over there behind the glass, behind the cat, that's Dez. We've got Kels here still.
Hey.
Abe has stuck around, thankfully.
Howdy.
And Sin is here, of course.
Hey.
And we are now going to dig in quickly, well, not quickly, but a little quicker than before. We are going to dig into Firewalk with Me and The Return, which is honestly my favorite half of the show. For years, I lived with, well, for about 9 years, I lived with just the first 2 seasons in the film, like everybody else. The film came out in 92, a year after the series was canceled. To many fans' dismay, it ended up being a prequel instead of a sequel. But looking back, that was the right decision
That was necessary,
after what happened 25 years later. But the film here, I'm still screen sharing, right, Des?
Yeah.
still screen sharing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go down
The film departs drastically from the tone of the series. The tone of the series, it always felt like there was a... Fuck. Can anybody else describe it? There was a more whimsical...
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was sillier, goofier.
Yeah. Like it had a more... I think there was more in it for a general audience versus the stuff that we would enjoy from The Return in the film, Firewalk with Me. Like basically the whole making fun of soap operas is abandoned. A good bit of the humor is abandoned or either altered into something else entirely, and it's a lot darker. A lot.
It's a lot more serious.
Darker and a lot more serious. Yeah, we pick up with Firewalk with Me. We actually, you can call it a prequel. I mean, David Lynch calls it a prequel. But if you were to watch, especially if you were to watch Q2's fan edit, I know down in the description it says it's the Nodle Cut, but Q2, who is a very popular gentleman that does fan edits of films where he'll take deleted scenes from Blu-rays and put them back into the film and things of that nature. So he took another fun story, I guess. When Firewalk came out, it was Firewalk with Me. It's obviously 2 hours and 15 minutes long, as you can see right here. But that left a lot on the cutting room floor. And by a lot, I mean about an hour and 40 minutes worth of footage was cut out of the film because Lynch's original assembly cut was just over 4 hours. And obviously that wasn't going to work for a theater release. So they cut a shit ton of the movie out, which actually ended up cutting out most of the TV show characters. Were gone. Like, without the missing pieces, you don't see Harry at all. Sheriff Truman, he's not there. A lot of the people that we loved from the series are absent from the film, and most notoriously, they had to recast Donna because Laura Flynn Boyle wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
So
that was a better choice, though.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I enjoyed, I'm pretty sure her name is Moira Kelly. Yeah, Moira Kelly. I enjoyed her take on Donna more. I thought she made Donna more empathetic. She wasn't nearly as annoying as Laura Flynn Boyle.
She seemed more like Laura's friend than the other one, because she it just seemed like the Donna show. Like Donna's parts in the series seemed like the Donna show, instead of what's happening to Laura Palmer's friend after her death, kind of thing. But the movie was more.
Yeah.
She's more friend. Yeah.
We got to see how that friendship actually played out. Because by the time we meet her in the series, obviously Laura's dead. She's dead before the first episode even starts.
She's
So the film focuses very heavily on...
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Oh my god, you did it.
I love it. I love it. Oh fuck, that got me. Shit. Fuck, I don't know where I was.
Hold on, I gotta hear what the
Dougie Jones.
Dougie, one of my favorite parts of the return.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck. Damn it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
She's dead.
Donna.
That's where we're
Donna.
at.
Yeah. Donna.
Donna.
I definitely liked Miss Kelly's portrayal much more. Does anybody have any comments about the film? When y'all were first when we were first watching the film, because we marathoned it in the server, we watched all.
Oh, hold on, you froze.
Rose screen too.
Froze screen. I think we lost Nodle.
At least
Oh,
he's doing
no.
some fancy hand gestures.
Oh no. I wonder if his power went out.
Oh no.
Like I did that one time. He'll be back. He'll be back. Anyway.
Sorry about that. I have no idea what just happened.
Welcome back.
I was talking and then nobody answered my question. My bad. What was the last thing I said? So sorry about that, everybody that's watching out there. All.
Oh, you were just talking about how we marathoned it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we marathoned the film in the server with obviously it was the entire theatrical version with the missing pieces cut back in. Q2 did most of the heavy lifting. I only added 2 other scenes back into it because I wanted the full thing there. He added everything in that made sense for the story. I added in 2 scenes that were separate, but I'm a completist, so sue me. But when we were watching it in the server, what did y'all think of the film itself? Did it the tone shift is so abrupt. So did that take you out of it? Did it?
No.
Did it?
It drew me in.
Yeah.
Even more. It made me realize just like how serious. Like, so one of the things that I noticed that like I didn't really realize until we got to the movie was how much of the cocaine, the cocaine, was actually like in play during like the whole thing. Like there was a huge drug issue through the whole thing, and in the original 2 seasons, I didn't really. Like they kind of alluded to it, but it wasn't really. And then like in the movie, they're just fucking doing lines and bumps all the time, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, it's that kind of small town. She's that kind of girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
I remember when Coop found the key in her diary. He told Truman to have the bag tested, and he said, "I'm positive it's going to come back as cocaine."
Yeah.
But other than that, and I think there was a storyline. Wait, was the storyline of Mike and Bobby owing Leo money, was that in the show or the movie?
That was in the show, but it was.
Yeah, it was.
It
was in
was.
the show.
It was played more like the drug deal than the drugs. Like Bobby had a cocaine problem, that was obvious, but
Yeah. Okay.
it just like and then in the 3rd season they were doing it all the time with what was her name?
Oh,
what's her name's
Shelley's daughter.
Yeah.
Which
Amanda Siegfried.
I thought Amanda Seyfried's character.
Yeah.
God, what's her name? Rebecca? Is that her name?
Becky?
I think
Becky.
so.
Becky.
Yeah.
Becky. Yeah, that's it. I thought, you remember that scene where it's right after she did a giant line in the car with her boyfriend, and they're driving away, and the music's playing, it's really nice, and she just leans back and she's smiling.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was so fucking haunting to me because of the idea that a person that can only get that kind of happiness from being chemically addicted, which all of us can relate to on some level. So that was I really love that scene. Lynch is really good at like taking the idyllic small town and like, okay, picture this. You're in somebody's like perfectly manicured lawn, and you go and you pick up the AstroTurf, and you see the dirt underneath, and you start digging into the dirt, and it's it's just bugs and worms and terrible shit. Like the idea of you pull away, or scratch away at the surface just a little bit of places like Twin Peaks, and suddenly you just realize this place isn't as perfect as it seems at all. Like the mirage of a perfect small town, it doesn't really exist anymore. Even
never did.
Yeah,
I don't think it ever did.
really. You don't think there was ever a point where you could rely on your community more than anything else?
I mean, not in my lifetime.
Mine either, honestly. I mean, I can say that for sure. Yeah.
I mean, even when I was young, like growing up in a town just like Twin Peaks, we had our fair share of murders and teenagers dying and drama and scandals and big drug busts and everything like that, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah. Modern times, especially, you're not going to find that anymore at all. If you buried your head in the sand enough, I think maybe up until about 10, 15 years ago, you might have been able to find a place like that. But that's only if you didn't pay any attention to anything else that was going on around you. And you didn't have anything. That would just mean that you don't personally have anything to worry about. Doesn't really mean that the people around you don't have anything to worry about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But with Twin Peaks, it was interesting to me how much there was with this one little place, and not even just the crime. I love the idea of making this little small town, like, not really, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. This nexus point for events that transcend space and time and everything that we know as human beings.
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of that happening somewhere like that, instead of like a portal opening up in New York City, something like that.
Yeah, we didn't see. Was there any like mention of ley lines or anything like that? Like why
Ooh.
Twin Peaks?
I don't think so.
'Cause it was obviously like a paranormal hub.
Yeah.
And had been.
I think it had something to do with the woods. I remember Glastonbury Grove being a very big part in it, and that was the sycamore trees with the stones that had to get into the Black Lodge, it had like the scorched engine oil. But to get into what we think is the White Lodge, which was the black and white stuff with the giant, it's the same thing, except for the fluid is gold compared to the black engine oil to get to the Black Lodge. To get to the White Lodge, it's some sort of gold liquid that we never really get much of a description on besides what we see on camera.
Yeah.
So I guess it's I think it's more about. This doesn't really answer the question. Fuck. It's more about the surrounding areas of the town than it is the town itself, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a 1/3 of the way there answer.
My dog. Sorry.
It's fine. I've got the trailer for Firewalk with me here pulled up. Do we want to watch it here real quick?
Yeah.
Give people some idea of what we're talking about here. Now, I mean, everybody saw the rather goofy introduction of how they marketed the series, and now imagine you're a fan, and a year later you see this And you think
Okay.
it's going to be everything that you've been waiting for. Because remember, there was no internet back then. You didn't know what
Yeah.
kind of movie you were getting until you saw the trailer. I love how they really play into the nostalgia stuff here by using the music and some really soft scenes.
Yeah.
They appear to be soft scenes, but the
Yeah.
best part about this is like this scene, for instance. This is the one that really made me stop it. This is a scene where Laura's basically breaking down in front of James about the fact that she's like, a blow addict and like she can't control herself and shit like that. So to have that, the OG music playing over what they make it look like is something nice is very funny to me.
Yeah, it's way more serious scene.
Oh yeah.
My secret diary. That page is missing.
And there we
There
go,
is
right
no-
there. That is the shift into the Fire Walk with Me feel that
Yeah.
I know and love is right there into the pink room scene.
Even with that little like blip,
Yeah.
the sound cue for it and everything.
Yeah. Here we go.
My secret diary. That page is missing.
Electricity.
There is no other person who could have known where it was.
Did Bobby give you this? Or is there someone new?
Laura disappeared. It's just me now.
You made me write it all down.
If you can't tell from the turn this trailer has taken, Firewalk with Me is a much different beast than Twin Peaks, the television show. One of the things I love the most is the way it opens, is the static on the screen, and then suddenly a television is destroyed in front of you, which just signifies, hey, we're not on TV anymore, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. And they did.
Don't do that. She doesn't like it. How do you know what she likes?
Who am I?
I don't know.
You look just like my Laura. Don't make me do this!
Is anybody, watching this now? It makes me think, with the original music laid over it and everything. Does anybody else think that if Lynch would have gotten his way completely, do you think he would have told the story like this from the beginning?
No.
No?
Probably not, no.
No?
No, like yeah. I think there would have been more. It would have been more ambiguous who the killer is if he never revealed it. I feel like you would be questioning things up until the very, very end, like like every time you think you know who it is.
And suddenly the rug's pulled out from under you again.
Yeah, because it's Bob, and
Yeah.
Bob takes the form of other people, so it could be fucking anybody at any time, in multiple ways.
That's true.
or
yeah.
not.
Or
not.
Could just be a supernatural entity with no real corporeal presence.
Yeah. Because I also think it could have been her mom.
That is a good
the-
thing that I am interested in diving into.
Yeah.
With the frog moth situation from part 8 of The Return.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What
But,
was that frog moth about?
This has got 20 seconds left. I just want to make sure there's nothing
Okay,
like,
okay.
really, really crazy here at the end. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all good.
isn't. Well.
That's it right there. Yeah. But right here we'll show you the Mark Frost left early into the making of the film.
And David Bowie.
Yes, David Bowie is in the film, and his character is in season 3, even though it's not played by David Bowie, but it's understandable. Mr. Bowie was sick at that point, and
Yeah.
he was also replaced by an inanimate object.
A steam pot.
Yeah, David Bowie becomes a steam pot in season 3.
Was that still his voice, or was that a different?
If that doesn't make you want to watch this fucking show, I don't know what's going to. David Bowie turns up in the film, has been missing for 12 years, basically. And suddenly he's in Buenos Aires, and he just shows up, like flashes into existence, literally. Finds his way back to Philadelphia, where Coop and Cole and Albert are. Walks in, just starts yelling shit. He's got this weird southern accent. And then disappears again. And when he shows back up in The Return, he's a steam pot.
It's kind of fitting, though.
Where else you gonna get that? And no, that wasn't his voice. That was somebody else. I'm pretty sure he was just like Sheriff Truman, the original Sheriff Truman, Harry Truman.
Mm-hmm.
He was also slated to come back for The Return. They were both people that got sick beforehand and couldn't be in it. Because for Sheriff Truman, they went so far as to they couldn't find the original coat that he wore. Remember Harry's coat that he always had on?
Yeah.
They couldn't find one or the original. So they actually ended up going, and I watched this play out on Twitter. They went to a memorabilia collector, a Twin Peaks memorabilia collector who had one, and they reached out to him so that they could get the coat to use on screen. So, I mean, it was basically confirmed. It was confirmed that he was going to come back, but God, what's his name? His real name? The guy that played Truman. Not Michael Horse. That's Hawk. Fuck, I can't remember his name right now. I'm sorry. But the gentleman that plays Harry, he had retired as an actor years before, but he was willing to come out of retirement to play Harry for this, but he just got way too sick beforehand and had to drop out. So they brought Robert Forster on to play his brother, which, another fun fact, Robert Forster was originally supposed to play Harry in the pilot, and he would have played Harry, but there was a scheduling conflict. So if that scheduling conflict wouldn't have happened, he would have been Harry Truman from the beginning of the show.
So it's kind of like the Godfather thing, where Robert De Niro was supposed to be Al Pacino's character. Kind of like that. And then in part 2, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So in part 2, Robert De Niro came in and played a younger Don Corleone.
Oh, damn. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the original plans, anyways. That's interesting. Okay. Abe. You there?
His name was Michael Ontkeen.
Michael Ontkeen. There he is. Yeah.
Abe with the answers.
Abe with the answers. There we go. That's a nice segment title right there. Abe with the answers. Dun, dun. Abe.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts on the film?
It's kind of one I talked about patience earlier, but I kind of had to be patient to get through it. I didn't really enjoy it very much.
I appreciate the honesty.
It's the whole premise for the entire series, right? That's the story they're trying to tell, and
yeah.
I mean, they did it. That's fine, but I could have also lived without it. but I could have also have lived without the original reveal of Bob. So
Yeah.
It wasn't awful. It was great, but as far as the series go, I could have lived without it.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah, I
understand
guess-
that sentiment. Now with the third season in place, it feels slightly redundant at times. I think if Lynch knew that they were going to come back later, I'm not sure he would have made it.
Yeah,
I think
I get
he would
that.
have saved all of that. Maybe even the flashback stuff to before Laura died. I think he would have saved all that for the third season.
Yeah. Definitely. Like it was very focused on Laura, but it wasn't as focused on like the supernatural stuff at play
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah.
Which
I think I might have tripped y'all up though by showing you the 4-hour cut. If you go back and you watch the theatrical, you might have a different opinion because it's only 2 hours and 15 minutes. It focuses more on the outside stuff instead of the stuff in Twin Peaks itself. Like the greater, broader mystery is more focused on. Like they spend a lot of time on Teresa Banks, the first victim from from Deer Meadow, that anti-Twin Peaks town or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They spend a lot of the film length running that. Like Chris Isaac's around for a lot longer in the theatrical version. Just because of the running time, not really because of he doesn't have any more scenes obviously in the theatrical, but just because of the running time, he's in I think a good half of the film at least. But speaking of him, I still don't know what the fuck happened to Chessman Desmond, or was that his name? Chester Desmond? Was it Chester Desmond?
Which one was that?
Chris Isaac's character.
Yeah, it was Chester.
Chester Desmond. Yeah. Agent Desmond. Yeah, that's it. There's no mention of him again after that. Anybody else notice that besides me? Like, it's just...
I completely forgot about him. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He disappears at the trailer park when he goes to pick up the ring, because the ring's sitting
Oh, that's
there
right.
on,
He was like, what was
the
parked
dirt.
here? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at a Fat Trout trailer park. Yeah, that was the name for it. Yeah. He's kicking it there, and all of a sudden he picks up the ring and gone. Never to be heard from.
He's probably in the lodge somewhere, just lost, just walking around.
Yeah, he's probably just
He's a new Dougie.
He's Dougie posting in a different dimension.
He got Dougied.
Dougie Jones.
Yes, Dougie. All right. Let's just move on to the return. Let's just move on because it's so good. It's so good. Abe, since you gave your opinion on Firewalk with me, I now want to hear because I want to know if it's like if this is like the duality of man right here. If this is going to be like I loved that one or didn't really care for this one either. What'd you think of the return?
I really enjoyed the return.
Oh, okay.
The Las Vegas stick kind of worked for me. I don't know.
Love the Vegas stuff. The Vegas stuff is so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, all those characters.
Yeah.
There's so much added to the world in the return. Like they branch out. You're in New York City. You're in Vegas. You're in South Dakota.
It's like when we play D&D and someone role plays something for you, like, oh, this was your family member. Do you remember them? Like it felt like the Doug Jones and Dale Cooper like was forced lower for Cooper, like just being the lawyer and like solving mysteries. It was so weird, but I loved it too.
Yes. It was a very big departure even from the film.
Yeah.
I do believe the film is a very good bridge for seasons 2 to 3. I think it gives you a better idea of what to expect tonally. I can understand why people don't like it, obviously. I mean, it's some of it is superfluous. most of the stuff with Laura you don't really need. It's nice to have. You don't need a lot of it. Especially considering Laura's diary is out there for you to read if you want. Written by David Lynch's daughter, Jennifer Lynch. But with the return, oh god, I fell in love with the return after probably the second episode. I remember just being glued to my computer because back then I didn't like nowadays my TV is basically just forever hooked to my laptop so that I use my laptop as an operating system basically for anything I watch.
Yep.
But back then it was like I think HDMI existed back then in 2017, but I wasn't really big into that like home entertainment and stuff at that point. So it was watching it on a computer screen that night. But so I rolled up a couple joints and went outside. It was nice and cool because it was fall. And I remember just kicking back, watching all 4 hours in a row. And after the second hour, I was just like, God damn it, Lynch, you're a fucking genius. I fucking love this man. Like, he somehow talked Showtime into giving him millions of dollars to make an 18-part film. Like, there's not many filmmakers out there that would be able to leverage that. Because he quit like 3 times. Because they originally said, okay, 9 episodes. And he's like, I can't do that. Like, how many do you need? I don't know.
I mean, until it's overdone.
He's like, yeah, basically that was it. It was like, he was like, I've got the story. I just don't know how long it's going to take. And it took like, I think 3 or 4 months for them to come to an understanding. Because I remember on Twitter, when Lynch first announced it was coming back, the way he announced it coming back was he tweeted out that Gum You Like is coming back into style, which the dancing man that becomes the tree later on said to Cooper famously. So that was the signal to everyone that fuck, it's actually happening. And because there was rumors about it for about 2.5 years beforehand.
Yeah.
But I think it was about 4 months later. It was like Showtime put out there was an article put out that says David Lynch out, Twin Peaks still a go at Showtime. And I remember everybody in the fandom was just like,
no.
What? You can't do that. Like, we're not going to watch that. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, like, 2 weeks after that, it took not a lot of time at all. And it was announced, okay, David's back. We're giving him carte blanche. And so they were just like, it'll be done when it's done, and it'll be as long as he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Which is,
they went.
That's unheard of for a project like that. Like, I think that gives you an idea of how important Twin Peaks is to pop culture, is the fact that this man was able to talk them into giving him millions of dollars for each episode to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Like, he had the final say on everything. Like, he edited it himself, he directed it himself, he co-wrote it himself. Like, the sound design was done by him. Half the music was done by him. He's an actor in it.
Dude.
It's like, I don't know how many other people that could pull that off. I mean, maybe like Tarantino could do that if he wanted.
Yeah.
But other than him,
I just got this random memory about David Lynch. What movie is it that he every so often, every couple of years, he does a showing of this movie on TV to keep the rights for it?
Oh Lord, I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
It has to be an old
I remember
one.
something like that. Yeah,
Maybe
but he just like will just go and like talk over it.
Maybe
and...
Eraserhead.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I was thinking.
That was his first film.
Yeah, that was like in the 70s.
Very.
It's probably not even David Lynch. So.
I wanted to watch that. I never saw it.
I mean, it might be. You've never seen Eraserhead?
No.
It's on HBO Max if you ever want to watch it.
Ooh.
What am I looking up again? Goddamn. Anyways, okay. It probably, if there's anything, it would have to be Eraserhead. That's the only thing that's like old enough, I think. Because then you get into the territory of like Blue Velvets and The Elephant Man.
Oh yeah.
It was something really obscure though. I'll have to. It might not have even been him, but it was like on HBO or something. He.
I'm not sure.
To do a
I don't know.
yearly thing. Okay.
Okay, so here we go, everybody. This trip down memory lane for me, brand new for y'all. 8 years ago, October 6th, 2014. 25 years later, this video was posted onto YouTube with, okay, it's got close to 3 million views now. I still can't believe they predicted that shit in the show.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It all did.
You know, I gotta admit, the town feels a lot smaller than 51K. Like a lot smaller.
Hey, you're just not seeing the suburbs.
And it came out in 2017.
They tried. Showtime.
I remember being so goddamn hyped for this movie. Like, I was at work, it was dropped. And I remember,
Well,
I remember, I was at work when that came out. And at that point, I was doing data entry. I work for myself now, so just a announcement out there for people. Back then, I actually worked for somebody else, and I had to worry about what other people thought of my work. Anyways, I was sitting at my desk doing my normal job, putting in data, and I would check social media maybe 2 or 3 times a day, just because I would get bored. And I remember logging into Twitter. This was back before Twitter was as much of a toxic hellhole as it became / is now. And I remember seeing Lynch post what he posted, and this was posted right around the same time. And I remember I had my earphones in, I was listening to music, I was jamming, I was just kicking back, and I saw the article coming up, and I was just like, fuck yeah! Like, really loud. I was in the middle of the office. And I was at a cubicle, and so there was like 6 other people in there with me. And I know I scared like 2 of them at least, because I heard them move very quickly. They were like, what? You know, and I remember just having to yell out, my bad, Twin Peaks is back. And after that, like, it was funny because like 3 of the old ladies that worked there were like, they're bringing back Twin Peaks? It was like suddenly I had something in common with half the office that was like twice my age. I just thought that was funny back then. So I mean, that's another thing right there. It transcends demographics of most shows try to reach for the 18 to 24 demographic, but with this, it's been around for so long that it doesn't matter how old you are. There's people that are gonna discover the show today, for instance. It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you're from, hell, even the language you speak because of subtitles. There's always going to be people that discover this every day for the rest of our lives, and that's a very interesting thing to me. This picture of Edwin right here is really throwing me off. I'm just
yeah, I had to
for the
make
record,
it smaller.
Yeah, for the record, just putting that out there. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, okay. So when things actually kicked into gear, as you could see, that first promo there said it was coming out in 2016. It did not come out in 2016. It came out in 2017, but in December of 2015, this was posted.
Location sometimes becomes a character. There's a lot of holy places up here, a lot of sacred places. I can't put my finger on how I would describe it. It just touches something.
And that's obviously Michael Horst, who plays Hawk in the show.
In the psyche, it's almost like being in a moving painting.
Glad they got the footage of the side. There we go. Yep, I remember seeing that and thinking, what the fuck? The scene right here at the end, like, you can even see from the playback stuff, like, everybody is the same as me. Like, you get here and you see this shit.
Like, oh, that's nice. What the?
With Lynch, in the background, you can tell it's him from his hair and all that stuff.
That's when he's getting sucked into the portal.
Yeah, that was right, exactly.
Yeah.
That was right when he saw the portal while standing in that front yard.
The guys.
This was monumental when it happened. It was just it was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. It was like if you were in like the horror sci-fi camp, any of that stuff, if you enjoyed mysteries, anything really, it was just you couldn't escape.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
This news because it was just such a big deal. Like, there's no way for me to stress this any more than I already have. It's just there were people that I don't know if people that either weren't around or haven't looked into this can understand this, but a quarter of a century waiting for answers
Oh man, I mean, put it that way.
is fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in 2017, right before the series premiered, I think actually, wait. Okay, okay. At Comic-Con 2017, the first 8 episodes had aired, which is perfect because, you know, episode 8 was Got a Light, the one with the bomb, which is
the Oppenheimer.
I could talk
segment.
about that one episode for probably an hour, but I mean, I know I can't do that because Abe's got stuff going on. But that episode had just aired, and you know, people were just like, you know, 50% of people were just like, that might be the most incredible thing I've ever seen on television. and 50% of people were just like, "What the fuck was that?" You know. So
Yeah.
this was the first time we heard from Lynch once the series had started, and this was at Comic-Con that year. So here we go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, don't go out that door. Hey, we're on the 4th floor. We're not on the ground floor here, buddy. What are you doing? Hey! Hey!
Perfect. No notes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta show you something.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
This supposedly is the last golf ball O.J. Simpson hit before going into prison in Nevada.
David Lynch is a goddamn genius. I don't care what anybody says. This man is a national treasure. And I never say this, but this man should be protected at all costs.
That's comedy.
More than the president.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Twin Peaks at Comic-Con. Thank you all for joining us here and spending some time with us. Today, you're going to meet some great actresses and great actors, and I hope you have a very enjoyable... You can't bring a horse in here!
Okay.
Jesus.
What are you doing? And Ralph, take that gun away from her.
What?
What are you doing? Hey! Hey! That's a damn good lamp. You're making all my stuff. Get that horse out of here. Get that horse out of here.
Do you think they added the sound effects
thanks a
later?
lot.
And
Oh, yeah.
It was originally just
Your
him
horse
screaming.
stepped on my
that
cat.
horse.
Come here, honey.
Probably some random shit he's yelling.
Ow! Ow!
What the fuck is he looking for? A cat? What?
Cat!
Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot. Your horse stepped on my cat. Come here, honey. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Is that it?
That's perfect.
Is that it?
That's
Yep, that's
so
it.
good.
Yep,
Wait,
yep.
yeah.
He didn't even have an actual fucking message.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
oh,
nothing.
God.
That was so good.
There was a panel at Comic-Con that year, obviously, and he couldn't show up. So
Oh.
he sent in that. Here we go. Hey, Showtime, give this man another bag of money for season 4. Basically, yes. And he hasn't turned down the idea of coming back for something else with it. I guess he's learned to say to never say never there when it comes to stuff
And
like
the money's
that.
good, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's fine at this point. But okay, getting close to another hour. I don't really want to say final thoughts. I kind of want to get into a little bit of the timeline stuff real quick before we call it.
Oh yeah.
By the end of the series, and if you watch The Return very closely, you will notice that throughout that season, some people consider it a different series because different networks, all that kind of stuff. That's why some people call it Twin Peaks: The Return versus Twin Peaks Season 3. But I mean, it's basically Season 3. There's nothing else to it. But the whole the whole thing, when you watch it, you'll notice glitches during certain parts. There'll either be something very important is happening on screen. I can't think of examples of that right now, but
when
The
Sheriff Truman
gun.
got shot.
Yeah.
oh, say that again, Does?
When Sheriff Truman got shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
yeah.
There you go. There's stuff like that, and when people are killed, you'll see sometimes two outlines escaping from the person, almost like their soul might have split in two. And when watching this back in the day, I thought this was a mistake because I was watching it on the internet. Like, that's, I'm going to make the argument.
Error?
I'm going to make the argument here for physical media. If you're watching a Blu-ray, you know that everything you're seeing on the screen is exactly what you're supposed to be seeing. When it comes to streaming, quality is lost across both video and audio. You'll get artifacting, which, if you don't know, is the tiny black boxes that you get while streaming things. Like during black scenes, you'll start to see the pixels. That's artifacting. It's why I hate it so much. I don't like streaming. I'm firmly against it. Unless I'm trying to determine if I want to buy something. That's the only time I'll stream something. But I thought it was a mistake during the first viewing, but once I got the Blu-ray copy and I was able to rewatch it, which I rewatched the entire thing within, I think, 3-4 days of having the Blu-ray set. And then I spent another 2 days on the special features because there was like 10 or 12 hours of behind-the-scenes footage of just Lynch directing the show itself, which is another viewing unto itself, honestly.
Oh, man.
Because, watching him tell people what to do is incredible because of how much isn't on the page. Like, you've got your lines and what's going on, but you don't have, what is my character feeling? What's my drive here at this moment in time? So if you watch the behind-the-scenes stuff, you get to see him, especially with Kyle MacLachlan or Coop. He's admitted in interviews that he really didn't have any idea what the fuck was going on while filming most of the show. He just trusted David, and when Lynch told him to act a certain way or that he was coming from a certain place or emotion, he just matched up to it. The man should have won the fucking Emmy that year.
I can't believe he didn't.
The man played 4
Yeah.
versions of himself in the show.
Yeah.
Like, there is nobody I can say that works harder that year for a role, or on a role, than
Maybe
Kyle
one
MacLachlan
person.
did that
Dougie
year.
Jones.
Exactly. Like, Dougie alone is worthy of an Emmy.
Yeah.
Imagine going from a functional adult who, knows everything you're supposed to know, all that kind of stuff, and suddenly you regress to, 2, 3? Maybe
Yeah.
5, something like that.
Dougie Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I think 5 is
Yeah.
too old because,
Yeah.
5-year-olds have a grasp on reality. Like, he's just...
2.
He's literally mimicking things that people are telling him.
Yeah.
And Dougie, obviously, is Cooper when he first gets out of the lodge. You have to remember he's been there for 25 years on a different dimensional plane. So coming back isn't just him stepping out of the lodge and suddenly getting right back to everything he needs to do. It's a process of, becoming acclimated to everything that you've been without for 2.5 decades.
True rebirth.
Like, I think a lot of sci-fi shows and stuff like that skip over shit like that. They never think about that.
Oh, would it be like a soul atrophy? Like
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Like just human atrophy. Anything really, like your motor
Yeah.
skills.
Forgot how to human.
Yeah, literally. Like you don't know what's going on anymore. You've existed for so long by just like the scenes we see of Coop in the lodge are him like moving from room to room or just sitting there and being talked to. Like he doesn't really interact too much with like the entities that are around him and stuff like that. He just absorbs most of the time when we see him. So I imagine after 25 years of that, and time doesn't really exist the same way in the lodge as it does for people that live out, in the real world for their purposes. So, but still, I think a lot of sci-fi shows always skip over stuff like that, and I appreciate that Lynch addressed it. Like, yeah, I can't imagine it would be easy to come back from something like that immediately. There's no way you can hit the ground running.
Shit, sometimes it's hard to come back from like a sativa trip or salvia trip.
Yeah, for real.
DMT.
For real. Like, sometimes like I'll wake up and I smoked way too much weed the night before. I might have had 2 more drinks than I should have. And I'm just like, oh man.
Forgot how to human.
I don't even know what's going on right now. Like it happens to normal people. Imagine being on a different dimensional plane.
Dougie Jones.
You're gonna end up like Dougie Jones, exactly. Like there's really nothing you can do about it from there. So there was a lot of criticism back in the day, and still today, because of how long it took for Coop to wake up. Which I understand. I felt it. I obviously felt it too back when it was live. I felt it a lot when it was live.
Yeah.
Because, like, imagine, I mean, we did watch it week to week, but we consumed it quicker. Like, we would watch 3 to 4 episodes every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, but imagine seeing 1 hour of that a week, and that's it for, like, 14 weeks. Because the first week they showed 4 episodes. And the very last week, they showed parts 17 and 18 together. So, do the math. You know what I mean. But imagine trying to watch that, like, week to week. You're not really getting answers. It's been years. Fucking years.
And you've got Kyle MacLachlan up there twice, and neither of them are Coop.
Yeah. Like, you're watching 2... versions of Kyle MacLachlan, and neither one of them is the main character that you've been looking forward to seeing for so long. You've got Doppel Coop, who I call Mr. C, who is Coop's doppelganger, who's also possessed by Bob. So you've got like evil squared there.
Yeah.
Which is why like Mr. C is so fucking insane in the show.
Bad guy.
Yeah, very, very bad dude. I liked the idea that he set up the box just so that anything else that tried to come out of the lodge, he could catch. So that he could stay longer and do whatever he wanted.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's what the box was.
Yeah, exactly. It's it was supposed to be like a jail for lodge entities if they tried to come out and get to him. Because he was Bob especially was supposed to come back in much earlier.
Yeah.
Which is why they had to resort.
yeah, because he was overdue.
Yeah, they had to resort to the whole, when the time struck and he had the car accident and coughed up all the creamed corn with black stuff in it.
Yeah.
That was obviously because he'd overstayed his welcome in ways more than one, and he was supposed to come back because that was the natural order of things, but he wouldn't. which is why Coop was released early. Before
So what was the first?
Go ahead, Des.
What was the first thing that came through the box that tore up the couple?
You can. There are two entities that are. Actually, have this in a notepad document. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
In moments. Actually,
One of
did
those things
a
where I was
Twin
like,
Peaks.
wait, what was that? It was very
fuck is it
important,
really?
but
Hold on 1 second. I think it's on my OneDrive. Okay,
check
it's
your
not.
notes.
Anyways, I know it by heart. Okay, so there are two entities that they speak of when they bring up Jowday, which translates to Judy later on. In Firewalk with Me, David Bowie's character runs into the FBI office and screams out, "We're not going to talk about Judy."
Yeah.
And, eventually Gordon reveals it to everyone that Judy is Jowday, which is this evil entity, which resulted from the Trinity experiment when the bomb was dropped for the first time. That opened a rift in our universe, which let Judy in. And when Judy came in, she produced Bob, which is where Bob came from. Our evil when it comes to the atomic bomb, like our evil there, just it let in evil from another side, if that makes sense. And Bob was produced from that evil, which led to Bob obviously being out there. I believe he was formed into the frog moth thing. Or maybe, I don't think he was actually the frog moth thing. I think he might have been a separate entity that was moving about. But the frog moth that came from it eventually got to Sarah Palmer, Laura's mother, and inhabited her, which is why she was acting so insane during season 3. Because if you go back and watch it, we go back to her at the very end of the series when it doesn't make sense. When Coop and Laura are, traveling in that third dimension where she's Carrie Page, and they're trying to get her, Coop's trying to get her back to Twin Peaks to, jog her memory. Her mother, it flashes back to her mother, and she's like stabbing the photo of her daughter over and over again.
Yeah.
So it makes you think, but at the same time, she was acting absolutely insane. We saw her take her face off, and there was nothing there, and then she bit that dude's neck out.
Yeah.
Like it's just so I think it was the perfect storm there of Sarah had a piece of Judy in her, and Leland, her dad, ended up with Bob in her. And when Bob was produced, we cut to the giant in the White Lodge, which is where our skit takes place, by the way. We see the giant create a being out of gold, a golden orb that has Laura in it. So this great evil was supposed to be battled by Laura. So we were dealing with like stuff like cosmic imbalances and shit like that the entire time. We just had no idea about it. Which is, I love making the big story out of something that we thought we had all of the answers to halfway into the second season. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
But at the end, we break into the two timelines. I don't even know if I answered your question, Des. My apologies.
The thing that tore up the couple.
So there are two entities that we know of that came from the
bomb.
like the history of Jowday. There's Jowday, and there's Baal, which is BA''AL.
Okay, yeah,
we're not sure if they're the same thing that just kind of broke in two. But
Baal is in other things.
yeah, I know that name's familiar. I'm pretty sure it's a demon, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the box entity was Baal, the male version. He's described as being very violent, obviously. And Judy, the one that represents Judy, is more passive. It just kind of moves along, and it's like more of a slow burn type deal with Judy.
Mm-hmm.
So the box entity was Baal, the male version. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? I can see if I can
Okay.
try to answer them for you with what I know.
What did you want to blow my mind with? I'm curious now.
There is a very interesting theory out there that everything that we saw in the Roadhouse wasn't real. All of that was in Audrey's mind. Because if you
Even
remember...
9 Inch Nails?
What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Even 9 Inch Nails?
Yes. Because if you
It's just her favorite
think,
band.
if you think back, all of the stuff at the Roadhouse feels rather dreamlike.
Yeah.
And disconnected. Yeah.
And the main theory there is that everything we hear from the people at the booths and things like that are actually things that Audrey is overhearing in the institution, either in the institution or in her coma from the end of season 2. And it's either one of those two, but she's overhearing people that work at the hospital.
That's with the rash.
That's where my question came in. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Because if you listen to the stuff that's said at the Roadhouse, a lot of it is small talk.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is there's a good bit of it that's just like, why would you talk about that at a bar with your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's many options of what that could be, and I really like the one of Audrey being in a coma still and waking up like that, because we know that Richard is her son, that Mr. C raped her when she first entered her coma. But that begs the question, was he born while she was still in the coma? I mean,
he does exist.
That's possible. I know it's possible. So
because he killed that kid.
Exactly. It's like the guy was just pure evil from the start, and you could tell, which is why I was kind of surprised that you guys didn't guess whose son it was from the beginning.
I caught on before they revealed it, but
yeah.
He was just gross.
He was. He's
bad.
Terrible.
Bad news.
Terrible human being. All right, we're getting towards the end. I wanna just go over the 2 timeline thing real quick. So this isn't confirmed. This is something that multiple people have come to the realization of over time, have put tons of hours into. And there's a lot of evidence to it, is that we witnessed 2 timelines when it comes to episode 17. Once Coop gets into the sheriff's station and he defeats, or Freddy helps him defeat Bob. his face becomes superimposed over the image there. And let me see if I can find that real quick. I just want to get I'd love to get love to play that. Let's see, we live inside a dream. Yeah, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Why do people do this?
Dang. Huh?
Okay. That's incredibly hard to believe that nobody has just that scene up here. That's crazy. Okay, we're gonna have to go to one where it looks like it was filmed off of a television. Here we go. I think this is it.
Oh yeah. His face was superimposed over.
Somebody's got shaky hands. As you can see, his face is superimposed here, and he starts his.
We live inside a dream.
Yes, this.
I hope I see all of you again. Every one of you.
And this is where the two timelines are supposed to branch out from each other. In the original timeline, it's everything that we saw in Firewalk with Me, seasons 1 and 2, and most of, if not a good bit of the return, is the original timeline. And the alternate timeline that Cooper creates here with his decisions become the official version of the events, which is Laura Palmer didn't die. She went missing and was never found. So when Coop finds her as Carrie Page later on, it makes sense because it just seems like she ran away, maybe. So by him doing this, which is it relates back to the two birds, one stone thing. One of the birds was obviously getting his doppelganger / Bob back into the lodge where they belonged, and bird 2 was saving Laura's life. And Cooper, being the Boy Scout that he is, thought that he could accomplish both these things at the same time and not have any repercussions. And that's not how it works. As we can see at the end, he goes on his little diatribe here, where he mentions that he hopes he sees everyone again, and the reason he hopes he sees everyone again is because he's going to change the events of time that they all know. So he doesn't know how things are going to work out when he's finished what he's doing. And that's when this right here comes into play, which is when he is gotten to Laura in this third dimension, sort of, that he created himself with the choices that he made. When he tries to take Laura's hand in the woods, it leads her. He tries to lead her to safety, but she gets yanked away, or whatever. Like, I remember we joked about her. She was basically yeeted off the show.
Yeah.
But
that was her going missing?
Yes, that was her going missing and creating the new timeline. Which, the new timeline also leads to that third dimension. I think that third dimension is a pocket dimension that's the fireman and Coop created together to trap Judy. Like, by placing himself and Laura into that world, it brought Judy into that world. And they were able to capture and vanquish her. And that is what we saw at the end of the series when the lights went out.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's out there, but I mean,
No, it kind of makes
once
sense.
you hear
though.
it, once you hear it, it's like, oh, okay. Because after all that, we end up at this. This is the final scene of Twin Peaks, for now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Real life owners of the house.
Oh, really?
FBI. I'm Special Agent Dale Cooper. Is Sarah Palmer here?
Who?
Sarah Palmer.
No, there's no one here by that name.
I love the initial confusion on his face right here is just, you can tell he thought this was it.
That should not be. Yeah.
After everything that he's been through for so long. If you take into account the time that he spent in the FBI office working on the Blue Rose Task Force with Gordon and Albert before all this happened, this is a 30-year journey for him. So to finally be able to fix things, but to get that answer is just...
Do you know Sarah Palmer?
No.
Is this your house? Do you own this house or do you rent this house?
Yes, we own this house.
You can tell she ain't an actress.
Who did you buy it from?
Honey, what was the name of the woman who sold us the house? Chalfont, and Mrs. Chalfont.
The confusion just gets even deeper there. I'm pretty sure we have heard the name Chalfont before at some point. But this next name we've definitely heard before.
Do you happen to know who she bought it from?
No, I don't, but... Honey, do you know who owned it before Mrs. Chalfont? No.
What is your name?
Alice. Alice Tremond.
Remember that name? Tremont?
Yeah.
That was the old lady with the grandson in the original series.
Yeah.
She said no cream corn to her Meals on Wheels order.
That's
that
right,
Donna
yeah.
brought to her. Yeah. The grandson was played by David Lynch's son, Riley.
Okay.
Yeah, he had that mask, and he made the cream corn disappear off the plate.
Okay. Sorry to bother you so late at night.
That's okay.
Good night.
Good night.
I love the desperation and the confusion that we get here from Coop once he turns around. Like Laura or Carrie Page, as she's known in this universe / timeline. You can only imagine she was expecting so much more after didn't they drive for like 12 hours? I think something like that. They
Yeah.
drove from Texas to Washington State.
Yeah.
I think they're both just so lost in thought that they don't even like say anything.
Where do you
to
go
each
from
other.
there?
Yeah, like what do we do? She's got a dead guy back in her apartment from when Coop picked her up. Remember there was that guy that had like his stomach exploded on her fucking couch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, like, she doesn't really have anything good to look forward to going back home. And Coop, fuck, he's stuck here now.
Yeah, does he even have a home here?
This is great though. If you watch his face and the way he walks, it's like when he asks the question that he's about to ask, it's almost like he comes to a sudden realization. But anyway. This right here, the way he leans forward, it's like he's calculating something. He's putting things together.
What year is this?
The fact that she doesn't answer is interesting because she's supposed to be from that world. She should automatically be able to say exactly what it is, but suddenly overtaken by something. Suddenly her mother's voice is heard in the background. Could be her mother, could be Judy. Since Judy is supposed to inhabit her mother. And 25 years awaiting result in one final scream. And no apparent answers. Now, see, I'm hoping you can see my argument here that could have been the erasure of Judy. The lights going out in the house, the voice of her mother, which, like I said, could have been the voice of her mother. It could have been her remembering being Laura Palmer. But it also could have been Judy. So
yeah,
there's no way of knowing unless he feels like giving
season 4.
Wouldn't it be fucking wild if he were working on a memoir where he answers everything before he dies?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know if I'd
That'd be
want
nice.
that. I don't know if I'd want it though.
Really?
I don't know if I'd want it. I feel like it would ruin a lot of it for me. A lot of the... As much as I want answers, I love the mystique of this show more than anything.
Yeah. Sometimes you like your head canon. Like, you don't want to ruin it by...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's one more scene I wanted to show here before we end things. I want to end it on a more upbeat note here.
a fine man, Bushnell Mullins.
I want the whole damn town.
The whole name.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a whole damn town!
Yes.
Yes.
Where is it? So, after 16 hours, we finally get the part that we all want.
You are awake.
The entire audience at once.
100%.
Finally,
The entire audience at once.
Finally.
see us one. He did it. Go back in.
See? There it is right there. I don't know. I don't really know. Like, that kind of spells that part out, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still ours. Take this.
From what I gather, the ring basically either traps or condemns the soul to the lodge, the Black Lodge.
Yeah.
Because every time we see it put on somebody before they die or right after they die, their body disappears and they show up in the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the seed? Do you have the seed?
He's talking about creating a tulpa here.
I need you to make another one.
So it appears that he doesn't feel he can't. Coop's one of those guys. Like I said, he's a fucking Boy Scout. He can't live with the thought of moving on to his own life and leaving Janie E and Sonny Jim without a dad. So
Oh yeah.
he has Mike create another tulpa of himself so that they still have him.
Yeah, I understand.
Apparently all you need to make a tulpa is the seed and something with DNA in it.
And then you get a
Dougie Jones.
Yes, you end up with a Dougie Jones. But anyways, right after that is this, which is probably the most feel-good part of the entire return. So I kind of wanted to end with this.
You're a fine man, Bushnell Mullins. I will not soon forget your kindness and decency.
What about the FBI?
I am the FBI.
Hell yeah.
Move over. I'll drive.
But Dougie.
Janie E, it's
I remember being all smiles at this point. You gotta imagine, you're 16 hours deep into a show that you've been watching week by week. You've been waiting for this motherfucker to wake up for so long.
Yeah.
okay.
What's going on, Dougie?
Fasten your seatbelt. Plus the OG music hits. Shit.
Yeah. Right back where we
Fucking Miro pulls in right when he's pulling out.
Janie E, how do we get to the Silver Mustang Casino?
You're not gonna start gambling again, are you?
We're going to see the Mitchum brothers.
You gotta love this, because, you know, it's been Dougie for weeks where, you know, he just, play it again, does.
Yeah.
Dougie Jones.
The only reason Dougie said that was because somebody else said to him first, "Hey, you're Dougie Jones."
Dougie Jones.
Exactly. Now we're getting complete sentences.
Dad can drive. Really good.
She's turned on by competence.
She's like, "Oh, that's kind of hot." Okay.
Dougie, let me get this straight.
Wait, I want to hear this too. Candy, where's my buddy Mary?
And we watched Scream 3 last night in the server, and this chick right here, Candy, was actually in Scream 3. She was the Hollywood version of Sydney.
Yeah.
The Vegas scenes are so good. They're some of the best, in my opinion.
So good.
Okay. You don't sell insurance.
Oh, I want
You're
a
an
Bloody
FBI
Mary.
agent.
These guys have never heard this guy say hardly anything, and then all of a sudden this happens. I love that everybody is perfectly fine with this progression of events. Like, nobody's just like, you know, he barely said anything before yesterday.
Yeah.
We've been missing for 25 years. And we need to get you to a town called Twin Peaks, to a sheriff's station.
Dougie, we love you, but we are not traditionally welcome at such places.
Or by such aforementioned people, law enforcement types.
I read you 100%. Friends, that's about to change. I am witness to the fact that you both have hearts of gold.
They do. They really do.
This is one of the things that I love about Dougie so much is, I don't know if everybody picked up on it, but he made everyone around him a better person just by being there. If you
Dougie Jones.
attention, like he's you know, you think back to, oh, here you go, like
Jade give 2 rides.
Jade give 2 rides.
Oh my god.
So this is the pro
in there
that Dougie was sleeping with, and obviously with Cooper there now, he never sees her again. So there is one for you. He gets He gets to the casino, and he basically saves that woman by telling her
change
where.
that old lady's life.
Yeah, he tells her where to play, and she ends up like winning so much money that she's able to buy a house, and she's with her son again later on and shit, and all of a sudden you get to, you know, his home life, and and Coop operating at 10% as Dougie is a better dad than the guy who
Dougie Jones
before him was at 100%. See, you just gotta love it. Like, that's how good of a person Coop is. Like, him at 10% is better than most men at 100. It's a great scene. Hold on, here we go.
Hi. Damn good joke. Agent. Game. Case files.
Dougie Jones.
Full Dougie posting montage.
It's literally a Dougie posting montage, yeah.
Red door. Case file.
He's
Look at you.
badge.
Some of my favorite stuff was when he was finally like snapping back into who he really was. Like he would like the badge thing, and then the shoes of the statue that was like the lawman or whatever.
True.
The pie, the coffee helped. You know, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to happen when he saw the American flag. I thought that was going to be it, because a little bit of the music hit, and you saw like a little bit of, there was almost a tear in his eye, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Coop is that guy that you want as an FBI agent. He's like the embodiment of everything that's good in a man. Like he's like the perfect patriot. So I figured that's what was going to be. Like he believes in the best about this country, kind of like I do. So it's like more of a. I thought that was going to do it because, you know, like if anything's going to do it, it's his love for his country. It's his love for people that's going to make him, you know, wake up and be like, okay, I got shit to do. But, you know. Then again, this is what led to everything was him seeing Gordon on TV. Right there by turning on the TV with the remote. He heard somebody say Gordon Cole. And that suddenly made him realize that he had to stick a fucking fork in a light socket.
Oh, yeah.
To wake up. I don't know why that had to happen, but, you know. Well, I do know why it had to happen. Electricity. Because, you know, electricity is a big running theme. Final thoughts. I think we should wrap it up. Anybody got anything?
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, it was significant.
It's definitely very unique and quirky, interesting. It keeps you sort of guessing, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get that as much nowadays, I feel.
No. Not at all.
It's also one of those shows that's funner to watch with more people that you're comfortable with as well. Like joking and stuff.
Yeah, what the hell is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
That's true. It really is. It's one of those it's one of those things where, you know, the reason that so many people liked it was the fact that they could talk to people about it.
Yeah.
Especially when it first, you know, happened or whatever. It was just kind of a. I know I've used it so many times, but it was a cultural phenomenon, and it still is to this day.
Yeah.
You will see references to it until the end of time. That's just how it is.
For sure.
All right. If nobody else has anything to say, I'm going to ask.
No, but I finally figured out how to add both of their cams. Both of our guest cams up on the screen at
It's the end of the show.
Just figured it out.
It's the end of the show. Everybody give it up for Des. She figured it out for next time.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Good job, Des. Good job. Nah, it's all good. We will use it next time, so I mean, it will come in handy. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I want to thank Kels. I want to thank Abe. I want to thank Sim.
He already went to bed.
And obviously, Des, as always, I want to thank y'all for joining me here to celebrate this absolutely insane fucking show that is one of my favorites, of course. So I'm glad we got to go on this ride together. It was fun. It was probably the 7th time I've watched it, maybe the 8th. Now that I think about it, but I always get something else out of it. So it was cool. So thank you for joining me on the ride.
Yeah, thank
It was
you
fun.
for showing
Yeah.
us.
Thank you.
Always
Thank
happy
you.
to introduce Twin Peaks into somebody else's world. Now, Des, if you don't mind, could you throw me up a Be Right Back screen so I can grab my guitar?
Of course, here we go. One.
All right, everybody.
Nope.
We've gotten to that time. It's the end of the night. And thank everybody for coming out. Clear World Radio, Twin Peaks Celebration Special. Thank you to the Midnight Society for watching the show with me, and thank you to Des for doing everything that she does around here. And if you're watching this, thank you too. The song's called A Kiss Before I Go. The engine turns on a dime, but I ain't going nowhere tonight. And I ain't been going nowhere for quite a while. Can't tell the truth in a house of lies. Can explain what I don't know. One shot, one beer, and a kiss before I go. One more kiss for a go. One more night and day. Breath all heavy and slow. One shot, one beer, and a kiss before I go. Miss those nights, the boy and I are loaded
pain in the morning comes as easy as it goes. Can't find the truth in a house of lies. You can't see tomorrow with yesterday's eyes. One shot of beer in a place where nobody cries. One more kiss before I go. One more night and day. Breath all heavy and slow. One shot of beer and a kiss. One shot of beer and a kiss. One shot of beer and a kiss before I go.
One more for good measure. I think it's time for, oh wait, I played an original midway through. Let's see. Original, cover, so I guess end with an original, right? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah?
Let's see. Ooh, that sounds a little out of tune. I hope I didn't do that to y'all. No, okay. There's nothing worse as an audience than hearing a song played out of tune. Okay, the song's called The New Frontier. Yeah, I think that's it. Please tell me I keep a pick in here. Please tell me I keep a pick in here. Okay, I do not. Okay.
Never make it back to Carolina now, with these horses tied from the midnight ride. Whatever you were to me back then, it's just a loss and a shame. Your father's turn is gray. So how many times will the weight of your sins bear down on your back in these battles you're losing? So what's still worse than all the waiting? It's not even knowing if it's gonna come. And I'm not gonna lose anything for you. And I'm not gonna choose between loving or leaving you. This is just a game that we play. Doesn't matter anyway. Never make it back to where we were before, as these trails twist and turn, leave us somewhere that we were before. Finding a breath from the long winding dark and heavy, but there's nowhere left to go. So what's still worse than all the waiting? It's not even knowing if it's gonna come. You're fighting a war that you're never gonna win. Just like a coincidence, shattered by consequence. I'm not gonna lose anything for you, and I'm not gonna choose between love and no leaving you. This is just a game that we play, doesn't matter anyway.
Thanks for tuning in to the Twin Peaks Celebration Special, Clear World Radio. We will be back at our normal time slots with a regular show for you Thursday of this week. So we will see you then. Good night.